And hello, everybody. This is DeeJay. I am joining you here. We are building up to the match in the UEFA Champions League today between RB Leipzig and Athletico Madrid. So we will be casting here today. I can see Nolan already in the chat mentioning he's at med school orientation right now and he hates it. So I can see that orientation weeks do take a while, but hopefully you have the opportunity to tune into this Champions League match. Hopefully that will provide some entertainment. I do think we're in for a good match today. RB Leipzig is a team that plays pretty free-flowing counter-attacking football against Atletico Madrid, who typically is a side that likes to sit in, play a little bit more defensively, and look for their own counterattack. You would normally assume that Atletico is the slightly better team, and so it would be interesting to see in two sort of counterattacking setups how someone like Atletico or even someone like Leipzig, I think to a little bit lesser degree, manages being in possession of the ball. One of these teams will have to be in possession for a majority of the match. You could see it be a little open-ended in terms of possession on the whole, but typically when you watch these matches, one team ends up being a little more in possession than they're typically used to, and it's interesting to see how the managers prepare their squads for something that's maybe not necessarily outside of their realm of capability, but something that's outside of their normal or comfortable style. So that will be sort of the general setup for the match. You can see the lineups here for both sides. So RB Leipzig there on the left. You can see our lineup for Atletico here on the right. So Atletico setting up in a 4-4-2, very defensive, solid shape. You have those two blocks of four for the players, and you have Costa and Llorente up top there. They will be target men trying to hold up play, allow people to, move off to the sides and try to get on top of crosses from their wing. You see Koke and Yannick Carrasco out on the wings. Koke, a much trickier player, someone who will look to probably cross the ball, create space, look for through balls. Carrasco, someone who's just going to, he's a driver, right? He is super, super fast, very good dribbler, someone who can cut inside and create danger by himself. So an aggregate counter on the screen would be great. Meaning for like the game timer? Oh, there's no aggregate. So because of the break, the game timer will come up when the game starts. So we're still in the build-up right now to the game. So as soon as the match starts, I do have a timer waiting. That I will launch that immediately. But if you're looking for aggregate scores, there are actually no aggregate scores for these games. They're one-offs. So if you watched PSG versus Atalanta yesterday, that was the only match. They're one-off ties here for the quarterfinals due to the long COVID break. They do need to get these games over in a certain time frame before the start of next season, which for the Premier League is September 12th. And with the transfer window shutting on October 5th. So they do need to get the games done this month, so there are actually no two-legged ties here in the quarterfinals. I'm not sure about the semis, but I don't think so either. So it's best of one. There's no aggregate scores. This will essentially be played like a final. They're still building up in the match coverage here, and again, I do want to clarify, I will not be showing the actual match here. I am using CBS.com, who is now the broadcaster rights holders for the Champions League. So please go to CBS All Access to find this match, and you can use my commentary as an overlay, right? So you can either mute the game and just be watching it, or have both on if you'd like. But I'm simply here to provide an alternate commentator. This is something that I'm passionate about, that I enjoy doing, and something that I'm trying to work on. So please, tune into the official broadcast. I won't be showing the game. I'll be using, you can see the scores, the unofficial scores up in the left corner there, and we'll have a timer when the match starts as well. Yeah, I do agree with you there, Nolan. Somebody in the chat mentioning that, Atletico Madrid, a team that's typically built for two-leg competitions. They are a very good defensive side. Diego Simeone, an excellent structural coach in terms of defensive approach, and you saw it, I guess, against Liverpool before the break. They get a 1-0 lead at home. They go to Liverpool and try to hold on to that lead or nip one away goal. So definitely is true. Yes, Matt, that is a Dortmund jersey. I don't have a Athletico or a Leipzig jersey, so just going with the Dortmund shirt. talk about Tyler Adams. Let's see. Where is he lining up here? Is Tyler Adams even in the... It doesn't look like he's in the lineups here, Maddie. Might be coming off the bench here. Looks like Paulsen is starting up top. One thing to note for Leipzig today... Yeah, he's on the bench. Okay. One thing to note today for Leipzig is, unfortunately for them, their main striker throughout the season Timo Werner has already moved to Chelsea and announced a while ago that he will not actually be playing Champions League matches with them. So they do lose out on that, and that's why you see Paulsen lining up in the 10 slot there for the side of Leipzig. Very unfortunate for them. Timo Werner is an excellent player, a very all-around striker, super dynamic, makes great runs, good finisher. Has been with the club for a long time, but yeah, opted not to play the Champions League matches with them. Something that a lot of people, it's been pretty controversial. I personally question it as well. I would imagine you'd want to try to finish the Champions League season with the team that you qualified with and you're playing with, but I guess at the end of the day, to each their own. Yeah, just about 9 minutes here until the start of the game. I think, as Nolan mentioned, Athletico's side that's built for two-legged ties, but I do, at least personally, see them coming out on top in this match, maybe like a 2-1. I certainly don't expect a ton of goals unless Leipzig finds a way through. I think Leipzig would be the more industrious of the two sides. But again, they're missing their best player, who's now moving on to Chelsea, so will be a little bit harder for them. You can see they're setting up in what looks to be a bit of a 3-4-3. Not sure how it'll look actually on the field, so we'll definitely comment on that as the game gets started here. You can see what FootMob has them set up with is that 3 defenders with 4 midfielders and then a 2-1. That often looks a little bit more like a 3-5-2. You might see 2 wing backs, so someone like Angelino and Konrad Lamer will be dropping a little bit deeper in the shape, and you'll see sort of a situation where Sabitzer and Campbell along with Nkunku are sitting in like a midfield 3 of some shape, and then you'll probably have Paulsen and Olmo there sitting up and like a 2. But you could also see Olmo playing off as an underneath striker. You could have Paulsen alone up top. There are options you can make with this system, but I don't exactly expect it to look the way it is set up on FootMob right now. I definitely expect it to look more of a wing back setup in sort of a 3-5-2. Which can be pretty successful against 4-4-2s. It will give a lot of midfield priority. They'll have an extra player in that middle space against Herrera and Saul. It gives them a couple options there, and they still have wide players to deal with. The wide midfielders. You have those outside wing backs, and you also have the 2 outside defenders. So is kind of a little bit, the only kind of mismatch you see when you're playing a 3-5-2 against this is you kind of feel like you have an extra defender for the 2 strikers. But I think if that extra defender plays the space well and is helping, whichever strong side wing back is there, it tends to work pretty well. You just have to be aware of how the systems match up. But I think the advantage in midfield will be pretty nice for them. It will limit the amount that their outside wing backs should be able to overlap. Although I do suspect that Carrasco won't track super well. We'll see. He's been playing in the Chinese Super League for a while. Not sure how long he's been able to drill at the side. Simeone notoriously is super good at keeping his sides like super disciplined, always tracking back, always doing their job. But Carrasco hasn't been with them for too long. Koke, another player that will work for the system, but they're not necessarily the most disciplined outside players that I've ever played. But it is a Simeone team, so you do expect them to do their fair share of running. CBS stream is flashing. Peter Schmeichel is one of the commentators on the CBS stream, so they're flashing back to the Man U 1999 Champions League final. Just make Peter feel good about himself, I guess. So yeah, Maddie and Nolan, if you guys are still here, how do you think this one's gonna go? Nolan, you mentioned maybe Athletico not the team you would expect to be best in a one-off game. They already have lost a couple finals in recent years to Real Madrid. What are you kind of thinking this game will go? I know I kind of threw out a 2-1 there for Atletico. Wondering what you expect out of this one. They may not be in chat anymore. That is not a big deal. We'll see if they come back and have a prediction for us here. Maddie wanted me to talk about Tyler Adams. He's the American international. He's on the bench for Leipzig today, but I do expect to see him at some point. He's definitely a good player. He's been involved in the setup for a decent portion of the year, and they do have 5 substitutes, as do all clubs following the restart. He's been implemented across all leagues that teams have 5 substitutions to deal with. Most of the games usually end in May because some of the countries, England being one of them, they get quite hot in the summer, and typically seasons end in May or June. You don't really get the games being played at like 80-degree weather sometimes. 80 Fahrenheit, I guess would be like, I don't even know what it would be in Celsius. I wish I knew it would be in Celsius. I need to work on that because I really wish we used Celsius in the United States, unfortunately. But it's the games get a lot hotter, so they implemented it for both fitness and consideration of the heat that players will be playing in. I do expect that rule, and I've heard rumblings of it in the EPL already, that it will go away next year and go back to 3 substitutions, which I think is the right thing to do. I do think you don't really need the 5 subs. Players have trained their whole lives for 3, but I do think this is an exceptional time, and 5 substitutions has some benefit for teams that have deeper benches, but ultimately a lot of subs come on just to freshen legs in matches. You usually will be able to make your match-changing substitutions in your main 3 regardless. Every team knows who kind of their match-changing substitutions are already. But I would expect to see Tyler Adams at some point in the game today because of that. We saw a pretty deep bench come out from PSG yesterday, throwing on Choupo-Moting, somebody who actually used to play for Stoke City in the Premier League. And I think a lot of people forgot that he was even on PSG until he came on yesterday and scored the winner in the 95th minute. So with those deeper benches, I do imagine we will see Tyler Adams at some point here. They're going through the anthem right now, so I will set up our timer here in just a second. And we will try to sync that one up with the game. So I'm going to be a little quiet here as I make sure I'm syncing this one up. This is actually the first time using the timer. Previously, I was using I was just showing a corner basically of the match so that people could see the scoreboard. Do think I might have run into a little bit of an issue with Twitch on that one. So just to be safe, make sure we're not violating any rules, decided to cover it all up this time, use my own scoreboard there, and also use my own timer. So it's my first time using the timer, so do forgive me if I make a couple of errors here, but I've tested it a couple of times just to make sure it works. It should work here. They're actually showing the structure of RB Leipzig right now. It looks like it's a 4-3-3 as opposed to a 4-5-2. So 4 backs, Angelino, Klosterman, Upamecano will be set up there. They'll have a 3 across the midfield. They do have Paulson still in the center of midfield, but it is pretty similar then, at least in the front, to what you see for Leipzig there. But you'll see Angelino drop back into a line with those 3. Heisenberg, Upamecano, and Klosterman. You'll see Lammer, Sabitzer, and Campbell 3 across the midfield. So sort of a pivoting 3 there. And then you'll see Nkunku, Olmo, and Poulsen sort of up top. Poulsen will still be the highest player, but they'll be sort of their own 3 up top. So we'll see how that one plays. We do have the 4-4-2 coming out here for the side of Atletico Madrid. You got Lodi, Jimenez, Savic, Trippier, Koke, Herrera, Saul, Carrasco. Carrasco actually be lining up on the right, it looks like, instead of Koke. So Koke will probably be asked to cut inside and cross the ball. And looks like Carrasco will be asked to run down the wing and provide crosses. Game's getting set here. They're going through the moment of silence for the NHS workers, I believe. But I'm going to go silent as well, and we'll wait for this match to start. I will join you for my personal opinions and stuff at halftime, but from basically this point on, I'll be going into broadcaster mode, so I'll try to engage as much as possible, but we'll be going for the normal unbiased casting here. All right, teams are breaking. All right, let's sync this timer up. Well, that's a bot. That's unfortunate that I don't have moderators. All right, we've got the game has started. Let's see, timer is running, and we are synced up. Well, let's go. Okay, let me get this one up for you guys here. Give me 1 second. Not sure why it's not showing up right now. Oh, that's why. For the background. There we go. Okay, timer's up. We are 30 seconds into the match, and now I will be going into broadcasting mode. I will join you at halftime for my personal opinions and personal take on the first half. But as we hop into the match here, we can see simple throw in here for Athletico again. Athletico lining up in a 4-4-2. Campbell just running by to win that header. See Campbell's sporting some pretty long hair here, potentially not having access to the main barbers he would have during this quarantine. But you can see here we have Atletico controlling early possession, are set up in this 4-4-2. So we'll see if Atletico remains the team in most of the possession. Again, these are two teams that do like to counterattack, both typically set up for that strategy. Potentially a little bit less on the side of Leipzig, but when Atletico goes up against the big boys in Spain, they do typically like to set up in that counterattacking style. So both teams may be a little unfamiliar with having too much possession in a big match, but we'll see which one of them ends up dominating it a little bit more, or we'll see if they just kind of forego it altogether. So this ball is sprayed wide, booted up the field and collected by Atletico Madrid, but booted right back down, headed away. And there is an offside flag on Diego Costa there. Diego Simeone here already barking orders at his players. Is Upamecano going to move this one up the field? We'll shift it wide out to Angelino, back to Klosterman. Upamecano now out wide right. Forced backwards by Lodi. And it goes all the way back to Upamecano. Back with Upamecano again. He will shift this one right. Back inside it goes. Nice combination with Sabitzer here. Cross coming in, deflected away by Atletico's defense. Clipped to the left by Sabitzer. Angelino's on top of this one. Will try to cross it back. It will be deflected and go out of bounds for a corner. First corner of the match over to RB Leipzig here. And a nice early combination play, springing, I believe, Konrad Leimer down the right-hand side there. And a good ball splayed out to Angelino will result in this corner kick. Looks like it will be Nkunku setting up to take this one. Cross comes in here. Headed away by Stefan Savic. Angelino will collect and find Nkunku once again. Cut it back, cross it once again. It's a good cross, but well defended. Ball comes back out, and the follow-up shot is lifted high. by Halstenberg. Did not quite get over that one, but a pretty weak clearing header here from the Atletico Madrid defense affords the first opportunity of the match to RB Leipzig. See here, they're showing the replay of the first corner, headed away pretty easily, actually, by Jimenez. Do not show the replay of the second. We may see it in a second. But Sabitzer and RB Leipzig have collected possession once again. Campbell back to Upamecano, across here to Halstenberg. Now looking up the field, they found Angelino. Will knock it up here to Nkunku. Nkunku looking forward, tries an outside of the foot cross. It is blocked. And knocked out for a throw in here. Angelino will just go back to Halstenberg. Here's Sabitzer. Looking for a long ball across. Does find Leimer. Will head it back into the box. Nobody is around. Will be collected by Saul. Saul under pressure here. And forced out of bounds. Well defended there by RB Leipzig. Will turn over possession here. See Leimer on the throw-in. Will just throw it back to Klosterman. Will find Upamecano. Into Campbell. Now across to... nope, not yet across to Halstenberg. Will be forced back by the pressure. Will come out here to Klosterman. Klosterman now out to Leimer. Will look up the line for Sabitzer, but it will be deflected out of bounds by Jose Jimenez. Pretty good covering there. Ball is restarted to Upamecano, now into Campbell, playing very deep in this midfield to try to pick up possession. Will be splayed back out to Klosterman. He's looking up the field. There's a runner here from Leimer, but the header won by I believe Maria. Or Jimenez, sorry. That looks like a foul on the on-rushing Daniel Olmo there. Yeah, Lodi just puts his body in the way. Goes down a little bit easily for sure, but is then kind of climbed over by Olmo and does end up with the foul. Maybe not the harshest foul I've ever seen, but will get the call nonetheless. Atletico Madrid will look to restart this one. Long ball up here towards Diego Costa. He will lose out on the header, but it will go out of play as Leimer could not direct that one to a teammate. So Lodi here, in the left back spot, will be looking for a teammate. Not a ton of movement at the moment. This one thrown in long towards Costa. Will try to hold it up, but will have it poked off by Upamecano. It's collected by Klosterman now. His long ball is deflected, I believe, by Yannick Carrasco, out of play. Now Leimer into Sabitzer. Go back to Klosterman, who will just loop it up the line, but doesn't quite get the connection he wants, and that one sails out of bounds. And still have not seen Josef Paulsen touch the ball yet. Really, same can be said for Diego Costa and Marcos Llorente. So definitely teams still trying to settle into the match here, try to get their strikers involved. It's been a little scrappy so far in terms of possession, as we mentioned. These are two teams not normally used to or pursuing a ton of possession like maybe a Man City or a Barcelona. So maybe part of the equation there as this ball is headed away by Savic. We'll find Lodi out left. Carrasco collects but is under pressure from Sabitzer. Does get clipped and will draw a foul on from the RB Leipzig midfielder there. Yeah, I can see he just doesn't quite get the ball up, ends him on the line there. Will be a free kick over to the side of Atletico Madrid. And this will be their sort of first offensive free kick of the match. See them lining up at the top of the 18 here, top of the D. Leipzig opting for a high line. Diego Costa here on the far post, probably one of the primary targets for this free kick from Lodi. Loading up now. He will send it in. It's a bit short. Don't think he quite got what he wanted on that. It's blocked by Nkunku, cleared by Campbell. The header will come back here to, it looks like, Leimer on the opposite side. He will just reset it to Halstenberg. And now into Upamecano. We'll Upamecano will drive a ball upfield, but being held there is Paulson. Doesn't look like he's going to get a call, unfortunately. And Atletico Madrid will simply collect possession. Paulson looking at the referee to appeal, but not receiving any sympathy in that moment. And Upamecano on the other end just runs, through the back of Diego Costa. Definite foul on that one, just arriving to that ball late. Won't get anything more for that, but yeah, definitely is late. Costa already has position there, and just a little bit clumsy from Upamecano, and this will be an Atletico free kick. Looks like they will set up to sort of clip it into the box. But you can see Leipzig still running this high line here, trying to keep the Atletico players out of their box, out of the way of their keeper. So will need to be a well-timed run and a good ball from Lodi. Definitely a better ball than the last one he played. He's setting up for this one. Waiting for the timing is Atletico. Lodi setting up here, will launch it in. It's a pretty decent ball. Savic goes up and gets his head on it, but doesn't quite get over it. Not enough power, and that one will simply loop into the waiting arms of the goalkeeper Gulaxi there. He will easily collect that one and look to distribute possession here. Are seeing a couple replays, and yeah, that ball not bad from Lodi. It's in a good area, but just a little bit loopy, so it's hard for a player to go up and really generate power on that kind of ball. It's hard to get over it. You can see Savic just popping that one up as he tries to get it towards goal. Now Nkunku will pick up a second ball and will drive towards the Atletico defense. He's going to display it out wide for Paulson. Paulson, one of his first touches of the match, will deflect off of an Atletico player for a throw-in. You can see a little bit of space opening up there as we see Kieran Trippier now fresh with hair. Something we did not see from him back in the Premier League or the World Cup, but has had it for most of the season here. As a Premier League watcher of the past, it is still a little weird to look up and not be able to recognize him instantaneously, but this ball will come out to Limer here. Now back into Campbell, still playing very deep. Sabitzer looking for a secondary run, but we'll find Upamecano stepping up the field. We'll simply find Holstenberg on the left. We'll look across the field back towards Campbell, who's made a high run now. Ball deflects back to him. He'll find Sabitzer at the top of the box. Sabitzer will shift to his right, try to clip a ball through, but it's going to get deflected. His header is won, but eventually cleared away by one of the swarming members of the Atletico defense. And now Diego Costa will be able to keep the ball in play, but Upamecano will pick up the second ball. It's going to be played out wide for Angelino, who's going to look for a first-time ball across. It's deflected, and now there's some space here for Atletico Madrid. Looking for an option is Koke. He will find Kieran Trippier here on the right. He will have to cut it back as RB Leipzig is retreating well. The attack does sort of break down here. Kieran going to try to flick it up the right sideline. It will be deflected out of play for an Atletico throw-in. But a couple of opportunities where we saw some space there from both teams, but really for either one, not enough options getting up the field quickly to provide sort of the killer pass option or a killer cross. Now Atletico Madrid has reset the ball back into their defense. You can see looks like Hector Herrera dropping in deep here to pick this one up. It will go wide to Carrasco here. Going to wait for the overlap and does a nice job with Lodi. Lodi finds some space out here, being chased down by a Leipzig player, but it comes inside to Carrasco, and his shot is saved by Gulaski at the near post. A well-designed play here between Carrasco and Lodi. You can see Lodi finds a ton of space in here, sees the follow-up run of Carrasco, who takes a nice first-time shot, but Gulaski is equal to it at the near post and is able to deflect that one wide. But first real chance of the game over to Atletico Madrid from this combination of players on their left-hand flank. Now Lodi setting up for the corner kick here. Will knock this one in. And coming in is Savic and gets his head on it. It's a nice header, but it deflects off of another player. You can see an Atletico Madrid player tripping over himself in the box, asking for a penalty here. It looks like it is Saul Niguez, but nobody there. No referee raising the flag at all. Not sure if he was clipped or just went down under his own power, but another excellent chance falling to Atletico here. I believe it was Stefan Savic getting up for that one. Could have also been Jose Jimenez. I'll have to look for a replay here, but the header had power, but just bounced back off of a body there in the box. Doesn't end up going goalwards, and in that follow-up scramble, Niguez sort of loses his balance, whether clipped or by his own power, and the attack dissipates. But a couple of good chances here for Madrid right around the 13.5-minute mark. Will be the best chance of the game so far. Now Leipzig back in possession, going to try to turn that around, but Sabitzer's pass is picked off by Herrera. Lodi cutting inside will reset the ball to Saul Niguez here. He will take his time, let his team get up the field. Now it's Trippier, and simply back to Savic. Just happy to keep some slow possession here is Atletico Madrid. Now they will look for Lodi on the left. He will look upfield, but great defense there by Sabitzer. Will force Lodi off the ball. Now dribbling up this right-hand side where Lodi has been left for dead. A nice sliding challenge here from Saul Niguez. Will break up that play. He will look long for Costa, who tries to hold it up. Doesn't quite get the timing right with Carrasco. And now Upamecano moving up the field. He'll find Angelino on the left here. Looking for an option, will clip it into the box, but easily headed away by Savic. Campbell will recollect possession, and the attack will slow down here for Leipzig. Nkunku will turn. Has Trippier for company, but not a ton of pressure. Will just be forced back to Halstenberg. Halstenberg now back to Nkunku. Going to clip this one long. Looking for Paulsen, or sorry, it's Olmo, but just overplays Olmo there. Not able to bring that one down. It will be collected by Jan Oblak there. And we can see, yeah, absolutely. They're showing us a replay. And Golaski coming out, but Saul Niguez just actually trips over his own heels there. He's asking the referee to look for something, but maybe just trying to hide his own embarrassment there, as he definitely went down under his own power. Really nothing to ask for there, as attack will be restarted here. Nice cross-field ball here from Koke. Ball will be played into the box. Sorry, that was Llorente. Header here won by Hector Herrera. Back out to Lodi now. Carrasco inside. Nice combination play. Nice turn. Will get past. Sabitzer just pokes it away from him, but he does dance past Klosterman, but his next touch, a little bit too large, takes him out of play. But you can see Carrasco already been a bit of an issue here for RB Leipzig on this left-hand side for Atletico, really giving Klosterman and his supporting midfielders, whether it's Sabitzer, Leimer, or Campbell, some problems. He and Lodi have been the impetus behind the best chances of the match so far. Do see Leimer here now pushing himself past Carrasco. Will connect with Olmo here. Will turn once again. Will find Paulsen back into Olmo, looking across the field. Angelino is open. He will collect with his first touch. Good run here in from Nkunku, but the pass is picked off by Trippier. He will continue his pressure, but Nkunku is open here now, matched up with Savic. There are 4 Atletico defenders around him. Looks inside for Campbell. Campbell will look for a shot, but doesn't quite get his body set, and that one sails high and wide of the Atletico Madrid goal. Decent work overall by Leipzig here, but Campbell never really got his body set. He took a decent first touch, but never really got out of his feet. May have been in two minds about shooting or trying to look for Paulsen at the back post, and unable to do either there. Atletico doing a good job closing down all the angles, first on Nkunku, and having 2 players immediately pressure Campbell as he received possession near the top edge of the box. And so far they have looked solid on the defensive end. Leipzig will have to look for some better ways, some sharper play to get through these 2 banks of 4, but so far has been a bit unsuccessful, as they will win the second ball here. Atletico Madrid will play it out to the right. Kieran Trippier now on the ball, clipping this one forward. Will be collected by Sal, but poked off of him by Leimer. We'll go back to Upamecano now at the feet of RB Leipzig. Will spray it out to Angelino, who's forced back to Halstenberg very quickly. Halstenberg now under a lot of pressure here from Llorente, is forced back to Golaski. Golaski will simply look long. And it looks like we have a foul here on Campbell onto Hector Herrera, trying to win that second ball, but gets there just a little bit late. You can see Herrera does get it through, get his pass through before being clipped by Campbell. Not a whole lot in it, but does unbalance the Mexican international there, and will be called for the foul. Now we see, it looks like Yannick Carrasco over this ball on the right-hand side. We'll be serving this one in. Waiting for the referee. Do have two people in the wall here. We'll fling it in. It's a pretty good ball towards the back post, but a nice deflection from Halstenberg here will take the ball away from danger. This is actually a very nicely played ball from Carrasco. It's just in that half space between the penalty spot and the 6-yard box. It's exactly where you want to put that sort of service, but Halstenberg does a nice job of flicking that one out of harm's way before a Madrid player can get their head to it. Now Lodi on the left side. Throw it in here to Niguez. Now Saul simply look back to Jimenez here. Now up the line, but miscommunication, and that one will go out of play over to the side of Leipzig. So now 20 minutes in. We've seen a couple of decent chances, but not too much really from either side. Athletico definitely with the two best chances of the match coming from Carrasco and Lodi's ensuing corner kick, but really otherwise nothing to speak of for them, and really nothing to speak of so far for RB Leipzig. Both teams still trying to find a way to reliably break down this defense, and we may have it here as Carrasco getting in behind the lines. He's chased down by Leimer there, and Leimer doing a nice job, able to get his foot on that cross from Carrasco, knock it out for a corner. That was definitely a dangerous position. As you can see, Llorente breaking away from the two defenders there, and well, actually that one comes back off Carrasco, so very nicely done from Leimer. He's even able to win possession for his team, and we've seen him tracking back very, very well a few times this match on the couple of occasions that Carrasco has managed to break in behind this back sort of three for RB Leipzig. Leimer has been there to pick up the scraps on defense, so well done from him so far. And it does keep this match pretty cagey from both sides, as still struggling to find a way to break down the defenses and really open up some good chances. Now Halstenberg and Golaski in a two-man game, but will receive some pressure now coming out here from Herrera. Halstenberg's touch is a little bit big. It's going to be one off of him. It does go out of play. It actually deflects off of Koke last. He's furious with the assistant referee here, but to no avail. Will simply be thrown back into Halstenberg, and fortunately for Halstenberg, will escape that poor touch there and keep possession. And this one now up to Paulson, will actually escape Jimenez here. Going to be sprayed wide for Cuckoo. He has Angelino overlapping. He looks for the overlap, but a bit of a miscommunication there as Nkunku sort of faked the shot and didn't really play his pass wide enough for Angelino, allowing Kieran Trippier to steal in and clear that one away. So an opportunity missed here for RB Leipzig to get something into the boxes. It looked like they had a good run happening from Angelino. But it will find its way back to Nkunku, now back to Halstenberg, and we'll simply reset with Upamecano. Now Halstenberg. Back out to Angelino. You can see few white shirts in around that midfield area, but not a ton of movement. So these defenders struggling to find angles into this double block of four, until a nice pass there from Halstenberg will find Paulson. He does retain possession, getting it back to Campbell. Now from Angelino into Nkunku. Nkunku will cut back outside, will find Campbell. Pressured now by a retreating Llorente. Cross in here from Angelino. Going in for it is Paulson, but will be called for a foul, undercutting Jose Jimenez there. Some pretty decent play, though, from Leipzig. It's a little bit better. It's a little bit more what you want to see. Very incisive pass initially from Halstenberg to find Paulson. They do a nice job playing through these two banks of four for Athletico. And here's this fake shot from Nkunku that leads to the pass. And you can see it's just not wide enough for the onrushing Angelino. I think part of that is the fact that he faked that shot, so Angelino did not sort of make his run further inside, or at least cut inside, kept himself a decent ways wide, hoping that Nkunku would be able to find him in that space, but Trippier able to break it up. Now Halstenberg cutting out a pass here from Athletico, pressure onto Golaski, but he will manage to clear it up the field. Paulson fighting for possession, but will come away to Jose Jimenez, who will knock it back to Jan Oblak, and Athletico will pick possession back up here. Now we have Sal dropping into the deep space, but his pass actually picked off by Klosterman. It's going to come out here to Paulson. There's a lot of space. There are 4 white shirts, 3 in the box now. Olmo asking for it on the run. It's a little bit overplayed. He does get a deflection, healed back into the box, but picked off by Atletico Madrid and cleared away. I think Paulson's ball just asking a little bit too much of Olmo there, forcing him all the way onto the goal line. And Olmo does a nice job getting there. You can see it's blocked initially by Savic. Sorry, that is not Olmo? I don't think that was Klosterman, excuse me. Olmo doing the back heel into the box, but nobody that close to him. So that one will die out. So yeah, just a little bit too much asked of Klosterman there from Paulson with his pass, but a pretty good break nonetheless, as we've seen in these last couple minutes. RB Leipzig maybe not getting chances on goal, but are starting to find some inroads into the space behind this Atletico Madrid defense. Now Campbell going to move this one outside. He will pick it back up. You can see both Campbell and Saloniguez playing sort of this deep midfield role. So hold on here as we have some action. Paulson now at the top of the box will try to lay it off for his teammate. Ball cleared there. Looked like it may have bounced off an Atletico Madrid hand, but play will continue for the time being as Leimer now in possession. We'll look back to Klosterman, now into Campbell. Good ball into Paulson. Little two-man game here, so we'll go to Leimer. He will get cleaned out there by Lodi as he tries to play that one into Sabitzer. They will call the foul. We're going to check here on this replay as this ball is cleared. Yeah, it definitely comes off the bottom of the elbow there of Jose Jimenez, but I don't think you can have too many complaints about that one if you're looking at the replay. The hand is very tucked in there, has absolutely no chance to react whatsoever, and really not impacting the play at all. So don't think there's anything to worry about there, and we do see that replay of the foul onto Leimer, and here is the ensuing free kick from Nkunku. Nkunku delivering. It's a pretty good ball into the half space. Heads go up. It's knocked away by Atletico initially. Falls to the feet of Diego Costa here. He's moving it towards the sideline. We'll try to clear it. It will deflect off of Daniel Olmo. And will go out of play. Excuse me, that may have been Klosterman. Quick restart here from Atletico. Finds Kieran Trippier on the right touchline. It will come back inside to Sal. He will look outside now. Overlapping is Lodi. He will get the ball here. Is stopped by Klosterman. His cross does come into the box. Now it's Sal taking a shot, but that one gets away from him from the top of the box there. Does not quite get the connection. It sprays high and wide as he gets under that bouncing ball. So some more chaotic play there. Ends with a bit of a half chance that is not taken by Atletico. Upamecano. Ooh, nice heel flick here from Paulson, but it is won by, I believe, Jimenez. Now chasing with Sabitzer will win that duel as well. Now Halstenberg will win possession back. Leimer and Campbell will finally settle down for Angelino here on the far touchline. Now back to Halstenberg and to Golaski. Comes out here to Klosterman. Upamecano into Campbell. Has a lot of space to run here. We'll take it. Looking out wide now for Angelino. And Nkunku is in behind in a decent amount of space. Is now one-on-one with Savic. You can see Kieran Trippier trying to retreat. Angelino's going to get there first. He clips his pass, but it's not quite good enough. And Jan Oblak will collect that one easily. Very unfortunate as they finally found a chance in behind Kieran Trippier there, but the ball from Angelino just not good enough and easily collected by the Madrid goalkeeper. Now Lodi will be taken down as he goes for a bit of a run here. Atletico asking for a yellow card, but don't think it's any more than a simple foul here on Leimer. Should not really a counterattack in the making there, and he will simply be called for the foul. I can see some Leipzig players not super happy, but did look like he made some contact with Lodi, who was running at full speed. It does go down, and will simply just reset. And these guys are still asking for a yellow card. Don't think they're going to get it. Referee does not look interested for a good reason, I would say. And they will restart. So no long pass here from the free kick. We'll simply be looking for Kieran Trippier on the overlap. The header away will find Hector Herrera. His pass will go out of bounds. And Leimer now over on the far touchline will help with that defensive effort as well. Now throw in back here. We'll find Halstenberg into Upamecano, who does a nice job, stays composed under pressure. We'll find Klosterman here on the right, being closed down by Niguez. We'll look in behind, but bit of a miscommunication with Olmo there. Will be picked off by Athletico, who will simply clear their lines here. Upamecano will go up and win that header against Diego Costa, but it will be settled by Niguez now. Hector Herrera back to Jimenez. Savic will look out wide to Kieran Trippier here. Will look into Herrera, back to Trippier. And a simple reset once again as these teams continue to prod and pry away, looking for any way behind the opposition defensive line, but still no break in the deadlock, and still only a couple of chances, mostly half chances for both of these sides as we approach the half-hour mark. You can see both these teams trying to find ways to break it down, both Koke and Sal, now even Hector Herrera on the side of Madrid. You can see Sal all the way back in here in the defensive line. Oh, a nice pass in there is actually barely deflected by Klosterman. That will allow Upamecano to sneak in and steal that one away from Diego Costa. Upamecano will collect possession again, flick one wide for Sabitzer, who will simply retreat back to Klosterman, and now Golaski, who will clear back towards Sabitzer, but the header actually going to be won there. Ooh, and Niguez is angry. He definitely went up very early and caught Sabitzer. Going to have to see the replay on this one, but it looked like Niguez was the only one jumping for this. He does go up early, definitely catches Sabitzer, maybe a little too early. I do think that one is a foul. Yeah, the ball's not really there yet. Sabitzer is still looking for position, and I think Sal just jumps a little bit too early. I think if the ball is arriving, you have sort of the argument to make that he is the only one going for it, but the ball really not there yet as he goes up in the air. So we'll draw the foul onto Sabitzer, and it will be Leipzig ball. They will restart this one, moving it back to Upamecano, who will simply look outside to Halstenberg. Ball will go out for a throw here to Athletico. You can see Lodi on it. But yeah, as we've been mentioning, you can see Niguez, Hector Herrera, and even Koke from the right on the side of Atletico Madrid, dropping very deep, trying to get possession, trying to find passes through the lines of Leipzig here in that 4-3-3, really trying to get it into the feet of either Carrasco, Costa, or Llorente. And similarly, on the side of Leipzig, you can see Campbell playing super, super deep, always seems to be on the ball, getting it from Upamecano and Halstenberg, trying to be the one to pick the pass to break through either one or two lines of this Atletico Madrid 4-4-2 defense. So still trying, have not had a ton of success on either side, but you can see what they're looking for, trying to get their best passers on the ball, trying to move this one out from the deeper portions of their own half as ball will be reset after a foul on Leipzig. Atletico Madrid will come out with possession. A simple clip there onto the back of Lodi. He will get up and restart play. It's with Trippier now, looking up the field, but it's picked off by Nkuku. The ensuing 50-50 ball is won by Atletico. We'll look up the line to Lodi. Lodi now looking inside. Nice flick pass out wide, but it's read by Klosterman. He will flick this one up the field. Paulsen will be second best as Savic just loops this one into the air. It's Sabitzer versus Lodi. Lodi wins the initial header. Its second one is won by Atletico as well. It looks like Carrasco will bring this one down. We'll settle it back to Jimenez, who will go all the way back to Jan Oblak. And now Savic with it. Now Jimenez once again looking wide for Lodi. Lodi trying to look for a Carrasco run instead. Finds Diego Costa, who makes a nice flick into Carrasco here. He's inside the box, tries to cut it back, but it's well defended by Klosterman, who's able to knock that one out for a throw. And pretty good interplay overall, but Carrasco not quite able to bring that one under control. You can see on this replay all the spin on that ball. Very, very hard to bring that one down cleanly. And Klosterman does his job and is able to get that one out of danger. Now Lodi setting up for the ensuing throw. Will go long on this one, but not the most convincing long throw you've ever seen. Does not clear the intended man, and Klosterman simply heads that one away. And Hector Herrera looking for a foul there. Will not get it. Will be a throw over to Leipzig. They will reset with Klosterman now back to Golaski. Up the field from Klosterman, but it's a bad pass right into Hector Herrera. Fortunately, Leipzig comes out with the possession after the scrum. Now Savage, and a collision here. Savage actually wins the header, though. Play will go on. There are 2 players down on the field. Golaski will pick it up, and now play will be stopped. And yeah, you can see Savage is bleeding here out of the left side of his head. Clash of heads coming in from him and Halstenberg as they went up for that ball. It was cleanly won by Savage, but both players did not see each other coming. Clashed heads pretty hard here. We will hope they are both okay as we see the replay here. Yeah, that's a tough one. Both going for the ball. Savage goes up and wins it, but they clang heads pretty hard straight onto Savage's forehead and the top of Halstenberg's head. So we'll hope those 2 players are okay, but we will see a break here as they are attended to by the medical staff. So we are 35 minutes into this match. We're still deadlocked at 0-0. Once again, only a couple of chances really for either side. 1 shot on target from Carrasco in the early going after some nice combination play from Lodi, as well as a corner kick that was got a good head on it, I believe, from Jimenez, but was blocked and didn't result in anything from Athletico. You haven't even really had a shot on target from the side of Leipzig. I'm not sure about that stat exactly, but that's what I remember at the very least here. If we have had it's really only been 1. So both sides still really trying to find their offensive groove here, trying to find ways in behind, trying to find ways to get possession in the offensive third, and so far not having a ton of success as both set up very well defensively, players tracking, players being very disciplined on both sides and making sure to limit the opportunities of their opposition. We can see Savage getting patched up here does look a little bit better. Halstenberg still sitting down on the ground. One thing to remind everybody, there is no aggregate score here. You won't see it on the broadcast. You won't see it on my stream as well, because this is a one-off game due to the COVID break. Here is the one chance early in the match actually for Leipzig that we saw from, I believe, Halstenberg, who didn't quite get over the ball. There was a header from Savage earlier, but really not a huge chance. Just a looping header, easily collected by Golaski. They're not even going to show us the best chance from Carrasco. But yeah, as we want to remind everyone, this is a one-off game, just like the match yesterday between PSG and Atalanta. Potentially why, could have been surprised by how strong the celebrations were from PSG when Choupo-Moting scored that 94th minute goal there. But these are one-off matches, so the winner of today will move on immediately. And if it is a draw, we will have overtime and potentially penalties, as we would in the second leg of a two-legged tie in a normal Champions League season. But you can see now getting patched up here is Savage, getting some bandages across the head. You can see warming up here. A couple of substitutions just in case. Halstenberg looks to be okay. You can see some of the blood remaining in his hair, but seems to be all right. Getting checked for concussion now. Does seem to be sharp, does seem to be aware. Same thing can be said for Savage, who's getting bandages, still talking to the referee now. So it does come off a little bit worse for wear. Now Savage and Halstenberg joking to one another, not sure exactly what they're saying, but probably a little sympathetic to each other's plight there, or potentially just checking that they're both okay. Savage will have to have some bandages due to the awkward spot that his cut was in. Halstenberg able to get off without any bandages, but both players do seem sharp, have gotten their concussion checks, and will be able to re-enter play as Leipzig will restart this one. Upamecano now with possession. We are again 38 minutes into this match. Is now on the wide side. Leimer will connect with Paulson, but his follow-up pass does not find its target. Sabitzer going to be robbed of possession here in midfield. Now Carrasco, 2 players closing him down, trying to find a way to keep possession here. Will knock it up the line for Llorente, who does a nice job keeping possession. Now trying to take on Upamecano. Upamecano with a good sliding challenge will connect with the ball. Llorente's rolling around. He seems to be hurt, but there's nothing to complain about from the challenge from Upamecano. Definitely got all ball here. Yep, that's a clean defensive challenge, and maybe just kind of twists up Llorente's ankle there, but certainly nothing to complain about from a foul perspective. That's about as nice of a center back challenge as you could see. Ball does go out for a corner here to Atletico Madrid. Carrasco will be over this one. Looking to deliver now. Pretty good short ball. It's flicked out. Good defensive header by Sabitzer there. Will be collected by Atletico Madrid and will be knocked back all the way to Jan Oblak here. Oblak just going to allow his team to retreat, get their shape set up, letting the seconds tick away here as we approach the 40-minute mark, sitting at 39:38 right now. It's just a couple minutes left, 6 minutes left in regulation of first half. We should see a couple of minutes of stoppage time here due to the patching of Halstenberg and Savic as ball turned over here to Leipzig. Leimer looking for a long pass to Nkunku, but Savic is there first. Nkunku will not win the second ball as Kieran Trippier knocks that one back. Sabitzer gets a pretty poor touch, but is cleaned up by Leimer. Sabitzer now looking across the field. Great ball here to Angelino, who will collect it on his chest. Looking inside to Nkunku. Flick back to Campbell. He's clipping it into the far side. Here goes Paulson. It's here with Leimer. He goes back across the box, but nobody's on the back post. Angelino back inside. It's collected by Olmo, but his touch is a little bit too harsh, and Trippier will be able to clear the lines. First dangerous-looking opportunity from Leipzig since that Halstenberg shot, but in the end, they don't actually get even a shot on target, and the danger will dissipate here as Campbell still now with possession. Angelino inside to Nkunku. He will look back for Sabitzer. Campbell. Klosterman across. Angelino heading this one across, but Savic is there. Campbell tries to collect, but it's picked off by Costa, who is just shoved off the ball by Campbell. Once again, great defensive effort from Campbell to get back and pick that possession back off the feet of Costa. And it will settle down here again. As you can see, Campbell still sitting super far back in this midfield, trying to dictate play from this deep lying position. We'll spray it out now to Leimer. Leimer with a bit of a big touch here will be picked off him by Carrasco. He will get it back now under pressure. Good move here. Gets by Carrasco. Still dribbling. Will look inside. His pass is deflected. Falls to the feet of Niguez, who will clear only as far as Klosterman. Klosterman inside now to Sabitzer. Sabitzer looking for a cross. Being engaged here by Lodi. Now Carrasco on him will be forced back to Campbell. Campbell looking across. Pass is cut off. You can see Sabitzer and Leimer now. Open on the right. Will go for a deep cross here. Trippier is there and will clear it out, but a lack of communication from his teammates, and he knocks it out for a corner just to be safe. So a corner for nothing here for the side of Leipzig. Nkunku will go out to take this one. You can see all their players setting up on the backside of the box here. Halstenberg, Upamecano are up here. Paulson setting up with them as well. Here comes the delivery from Nkunku. It is short. Poor ball there. Easily cleared away by Costa, but his clearance does not get that far. Angelino now with possession back to Campbell. Campbell back to Leimer. Leimer going to go all the way back to Gulaxi. He will just look long to Nkunku. Will collect, but it looks like he is offsides, and Madrid will regain possession here. Is looking for a run through from Costa. The ball's not played hard enough. Nor is Costa's run good enough. And now back over to Leipzig. Sabitzer asking for a long option, pointing up the field here, but doesn't find one immediately. Will simply play some simple possession here amongst the midfield trio. Will find its way out to Klosterman. Now back to Upamecano. Approaching 43 minutes, just a couple minutes left in regulation. Again, do expect to see 3 to 5 minutes in this stoppage time due to the head clash between Savic and Halstenberg earlier. Here's a cross from Leimer. It's way too hard for Nkunku. He tries to head it back to a teammate, but it does escape him. Now clipped in the midfield is not sure if that's Koke or Saul. It is Koke. asking for something for the ref. It's just a simple miss. It's just a reach in from Olmo. He does, I believe, clip him on the backside. May step on the foot there of Koke, but just a simple missed challenge. Should be nothing more than a foul. Olmo definitely not really under the cosh, I would say, for persistent fouling as of yet. So Madrid will start play back up here. Savic now looking for options. We'll simply play Niguez, who's almost out here in a left-back position, trying to, again, spark play from deep. You can see Lodi way up the field in more of a sort of left-winger position now. And Saul will be on it. He'll look for Lodi. The pass a little bit too hard. Lodi loses it with his touch. His header does not connect, and it goes over to Leipzig. Now in with Campbell. Campbell looking for Sabitzer. Sabitzer sees a run, but elects to go backwards. It ends up with Upamecano, who will drive forward, almost gets it picked off his feet, but does ride a couple challenges. Now finds Leimer open on the wing. Tries a first-time cross, but sprays it horribly there and does not get the connection he's looking for. Can't find Paulsen, and Oblak will happily collect that very simple cross. It's a good move from Upamecano. I like the early idea from Leimer. He sees Paulsen making a run on the front of Savic there, but you need to whip that ball, and he just mistimes it. Instead of whipping it, he gets under it. He's definitely a little bit late, and that one just sprays up and out off of his foot. Sort of like drawing a golf shot there, basically. So Atletico Madrid will restart possession. A miscommunication here with Carrasco. Possession will go back over to Klosterman. A little bit of pressure here now at the end of this half from Leipzig, but the pass from Olmo picked off by Trippier. Now he will go running the other way, trying to find Llorente, but again, another poor communication and an easy interception for Leipzig. They will pick possession back up, and as I mentioned, this pressure not mounting in chances, but certainly mounting in possession. You can see all 11 players from Madrid back inside their own half. You can essentially count Costa, who's only a yard inside of his own, now will retreat as well. And they've been able to get through the first line of defense pretty well here, getting balls wide. It hasn't resulted in a ton of shots, but you can sort of feel the tempo of the match going over to Leipzig here. As Angelino will be with this ball on the left. Will simply reset to Halstenberg. Halstenberg is 7 yards inside the opposition half with no pressure. Madrid very happy to sit super deep here and just allow Leipzig to have this one. Deeper in their own half. They'll find Campbell. He's looking for something, but again, with so many players in front of him, options are limited. Angelino making an inside run will open up some space on the wide for Nkunku. Nkunku will take on Koke, will beat him, find Angelino, but the 1-2 is just a pass too many from Angelino, and Trippier able to clear that one out for a corner. But Koke absolutely skinned alive by Nkunku there on the wide side. Does leave Trippier asking questions, looking around, feels a bit exposed by his wide midfielder there. Here comes the resulting corner from Nkunku. Pretty decent ball this time. We'll go into the box. Header from Upamecano, but it's straight at Jan Oblak, and Atletico can breathe a sigh of relief, as you can see on the replay here. Upamecano able to get off of his marker, gets a free header here, just doesn't quite maybe get the power. No, gets enough power, just not the direction he wants on that one, and it just goes straight at Oblak, but probably the first or second shot on target here for Leipzig. And as we mentioned, this pressure starting to kind of build. You can feel it in the play right now, and I think Atletico will be happy to see the halftime whistle in just a couple of minutes, as we do have 4 minutes of stoppage time. We are already 2 minutes into that, and a foul is drawn here by Yannick Carrasco. Ooh, and I don't know. There's not a lot in that one. Carrasco really not clipped at all. Don't even see a very palpable shove on him. He's gripping the back of his left leg, but I have to say, I don't think Klosterman has even touched him there. I think he's gotten away with this one, and will be a free kick here for Atletico Madrid with just a minute in stoppage time remaining, as Carrasco helped back to his feet. It won't be Carrasco serving this one. It looks like Lodi will be on duty from the left. See all the players from Atletico sorting themselves out in the box here. Carrasco just at the top Lodi is setting up his free kick. Referee has given the whistle. Here comes the kick. It's pretty good into the half space. Savage goes up, but again does not get over that free kick, and his header loops once again, and this time loops harmlessly wide. So another pretty good delivery here from Lodi, but Savage just a little bit too high for him. He just can't get over that ball. It skids off the top part of his head, and never going to get the ball down to finish that one if it's off the top of your head. But now some nice combination play from Leipzig. They found some space here on the right. Paulsen drives inside. Leimer is to the right of him. Overplays his pass a little bit, and Leimer forced to slide to try to cross that one and can't wrap his foot around it. So Paulsen leaves his teammate out to dry with a poor ball, and that will be the end of the half there. As we go into halftime here, still at 0-0. Once again, not a ton of chances for either side. Both teams trying to look for a breakthrough here, and they will have to figure something out with their managers at halftime. But once again, in this quarterfinal matchup between Leipzig and Atletico Madrid, we will be heading into halftime at 0-0. Guess those have to stay up. Hello? What's going on? I just lost one of my foot mobs. Why did I lose a foot mob? What the heck? Where'd you go? What? Did anyone else just see that lineup just completely disappear? That's so strange. Okay, hold on. One sec. Sorry. Oh no, it's done it again. Alright, 1 second, guys. Do apologize, but sometimes this happens where if I minimize the screen, when it comes back up, it'll just like count the captures as the same, like it's like the same. Basically, I watch like if I move this screen, they move together. So I gotta fix that. 1 second. But yeah, just to talk about that first half, I guess we can talk while I'm setting this up. That was a pretty boring half of football. I guess not maybe the most unexpected thing is, you know, we mentioned a couple times, they're two counterattacking teams. Leipzig is without their, you know, best player with Werner at Chelsea now. You can kind of see it. They're both, you know, Saul is dropping super deep. Even Koke is dropping super deep. Herrera's dropping. They're trying to find ways in between the lines, you know, with 4 backs for each side, and then 3 midfielders and 4 midfielders, basically. And the 3 midfielders for Leipzig are basically operating in the same way that the 4 do defensively for Madrid, because they just provide this line, this block, right, of 3 players. And while the block of 4 is bigger, you have 2 wider players, right? And they can come in, but typically on defense, you know, the weak side midfielder of the 4, right? If you're standing here, if this is your 4, I'll even use the screen. Let's see. Oh, well, I can't use the screen because, well, I'll scroll down here. But yeah, so if you look at the 4 here, right? So if you look at, you know, Carrasco, Sal, Hector, and Koke, what you'll typically see is like when the ball's on this side, like say Carrasco's defending, or the ball's here, say like Sal's defending, right? Ball's like here. This player doesn't really need to be quote unquote engaged immediately. This player needs to like know who his marker is out here, know if his marker's here, right? He needs to know where the opposing, like Angelino is in this case, the left wing back. But he doesn't necessarily have to be like here, right? Or like super tied in. And so really what you're dealing with is a block of 3. These players are like, they're all engaged, but these guys are like immediately engaged. Like, I am pressing the ball, I am pressing the space, I am pressing the space, and this guy's like, I am making sure that they can't just like switch a ball over my head. And so really the 3 of Leipzig are operating the same way, because you see Leimer is kind of like everywhere. You've seen him pop up on the left, seen him pop up on the right defensively. Like, they're operating in the same like screen basically for the front line, and they are moving kind of as a 3 unit, like across, right, the whole way. And that does allow Paulson and Kunku and either Limer or Olmo, whoever's going to stay up there, to kind of have a little freedom to try to get possession. But those guys will also be dropping back, and so with them dropping back as well, it's just hard for these teams to break the lines. They're just struggling to find a way in behind, and you've seen it even when like Carrasco gets in behind on the left. Limer's chasing him down. People are sprinting back. Like there's not a ton of options for him. So they're just not finding ways to break it down. And we'll see if their substitutions in the second half change it. But I have to say, I don't think for the first like 30 minutes of this, we're going to see a lot different. I think, in particular, Simeone's very happy to have it play like this. I think he's happy to win the game 1-0. I think that his play, like, it's a sort of philosophy where you just think, like, we'll defend. They're not going to score on us. I think my players are good enough. They'll like nick a goal somewhere. It's sort of Mourinho-esque philosophy, just with like more oomph and aggression than like Mourinho has these days. I feel like. Okay, I'm gonna fix this. Let's see. Oh wait, let's do. Okay, let's fix football 1. Oh, okay, it's not showing me. So it screwed me. OPGG. Why is it showing me 2 of these? I don't understand. Show me the OPGG. I mean, show me watch anime online. Show me something. I want a window capture. Sorry about that, guys. Just trying to fix this up. I finally got it to work at least. Now I just need to change it to the FootMob website. And there's a fly in front of me, and I'm trying to kill him. Nope, not this time. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. Let's do one little fix here. I'll actually hide this while we're doing it. Just put it behind the background. But yeah, so all in all, not the most electrifying half, for certain. But I think if we see some changes at about 30 minutes in the next half, we could see a bit of a more exciting one coming out here for sure. Here we go. Okay, let's get this a little wider. Bada boom. We're back. Okay. But yeah, I think we can see this one get a little more exciting if we see some changes, sometime in the middle of the second half. Someone will probably need to, go for it, but we'll see. Nolan has says Llorente is a bitch. Yeah, probably. For flailing on that one, maybe a little bit, yeah. He really didn't need to flail. It was a good tackle by Upamecano for sure. No real need for that one. I think the worst one was the Carrasco dive at the end of the half there, where Klosterman didn't even touch him, and he's gripping the back of his left leg, no contact whatsoever. That was pretty funny. It happens sometimes. Particularly, it is a trend of teams, certainly. Also that definitely a trend of teams, certainly, that play a little bit defensively, right? Mourinho's been famous for this. Simeone's kind of famous for this. they're doing anything it takes to win, right? And anything includes like running down the clock, like being obnoxious, like diving for free kicks so that you can, have a chance to head a ball on the goal. Like this happens a lot. It hasn't even been that egregious today, but I think it's something you kind of expect to see, unfortunately. He's back. Okay, no, he's not. It's hard for referees too. It's supposed to be easier with. It's supposed to be easier for them with whatchamacallit, VAR. But we all know what a tragedy VAR has been this season, and I'll absolutely go on record in that for that one, chat. VAR is a tragedy and it needs to go. It has been an absolute mess. All right, guys, there are a few minutes left before halftime ends here, so I am going to go grab some water. I'll be right back. We can keep talking about it if there's time left, and then we'll go into the second half here and hope that we get a little bit more action than we saw in the first one. I guess my timer is still going. I need to reset that. I just realized. Anyone in the chat actually? How was the timer? I actually wasn't really paying attention to it because I was watching the match. Did it counting well up to like 45? I don't really have a way to do stoppage time right now, so I'm just kind of letting it run. I'll need to figure it out eventually, but I'm still a bit of a low-tech streamer here, so if anyone out there knows of a way to like set up a count-up timer for soccer specifically, and like do stoppage time, that'd be great. Because otherwise, like my best option is to try to, again, like show the corner of the match where the scoreboard is, but like I said, I think I got in a little bit of trouble with Twitch for that one, so don't want to do that one again. Don't want to infringe on anyone's broadcasting rights for sure. So trying to just block the whole thing this time and just run it myself. I know that makes it a little bit more. What's the best euphemism I can use for this for myself? Still a little bit more low qual, I guess, than the actual scoreboard would be. But yeah, gotta do what you gotta do. Okay. Looks like this should be the last commercial break. We should be going back into the match here after this one. So just a couple minutes left here. If we're going to look at football, we can talk about individual players here. Excuse me. So it looks like FootMob. This is the website I use to give lineups because it gives their faces. I think it's pretty good for streaming purposes in general, and also just gives a nice visual for everybody. Let's look at the player ratings. So they've got Upamecano at like 7.2 right now, which I gotta say I agree with. I think he's been super stout so far in the back line there. So a lot of props there. He's been really strong. Klosterman is 6.5. I think that's fine. I think most players should be solid, particularly on the defensive end here. So Golaski is 6.9. I mean, he's done what he needed to do. Klosterman's been fine, not exceptional. I do think Upamecano's been their best defender so far. He's been on every challenge, been a threat, been dribbling into the midfield space. Halstenberg at 6'3 is okay. Leimer, I think, could be a little higher, more like a 6'8, 7, just because he's been tracking back super well. Campbell at 6'5 is fine. Angelino at 6'3 is okay. He's kind of blown a couple of the crossing chances he's had. Olmo's been uninvolved. I think the 5'7 is fine. Paulson the same way. I think it's not necessarily their fault. It's just like the way the game's going. Nkunku 6'6, Sabitzer 6'8 is fine. Lodi at 7'2, I think is fine. I think Carrasco should be higher because he's been basically involved in everything good that Lodi has done. Hold on here as we're getting ready, so I got to be ready to time this. Jimenez at 7 is okay. Maybe a bit high. Savic at 6'9", 6'8", 6'8 for Trippier is fine. The whole back line. 6'0's in the midfield, I think is good. Across, 6'0, 6'1, 6'1 for the midfielder is fine. I think Costa should be a 5'8 or 5'5 right now. He just has done nothing. Really, Llorente the same way, so a little questionable on their rating. Okay, the match has started here. Got the timer up and running. Okay, we're going to go back into broadcasting here. So we'll join you at match end or overtime if we have it for commentary and general thoughts from me. But we'll go back into broadcaster mode here as we get into the second half. Okay, and now we have RB Leipzig outside of Atletico's box. Paulson going to head this one back across Olmo, also with another header, but not quite enough. This one hooked away by Atletico's defense. It will find its way to Kevin Campbell, who will reset out to Leimer. Now back to Klosterman. Upamecano going to drive back into midfield. Going to actually get clipped there by Costa, but we'll move it on to Halstenberg. Campbell. And Halstenberg again. Just a simple reset here. Still trying to find some space to play in as it's going to go back out wide to Klostenberg. See Sabitzer trying to offer an option up the line. We will just see Upamecano get this one back once again. Going to look out wide here for Nkunku. Will cut inside, but has no options wide. Does find Olmo. Lays it off for Angelino. His first time crosses on the ground. Does not get past Trippier. Will be collected by Atletico Madrid. Looking up is Llorente. He's going to cut back now. Finds Savic, who looks like he's gotten a better set of bandages. I think they are either that or a headband now, as looks like Koke being shoved over by Kevin Campbell. Should draw the foul here. Yep, can't have any complaints if you're Campbell there. Just gets a hold of Koke's shirt, kind of shoves him over, but it looks like on the restart, Atletico has lost possession here. Now will be cleared away by the goalkeeper, Gulaxi. It will go all the way back to Oblak, who will also clear it away here. Now it's going to go back to Gulaxi again, and he will clear it away. Just bit of a keeper duels here as it will finally settle down to the feet of Leimer. We'll find Upamecano, who will look wide for Angelino. His pass will be cut off by Trippier. Will be collected by the right back, and we'll find Savic to reset. Savic will look up the field. Tricky pass in will be picked off by Leipzig, but fortunately Llorente able to disrupt it enough that it falls back to the feet of Trippier. But here is Olmo now. Olmo will be taken down from behind by Koke. That will be a foul. Leipzig will regain possession here. And not even on Koke, probably the one there on Llorente. as he clipping the shin there as he trying to finish his pass was Olmo. Campbell and Upamecano playing around with it, but it will end up at the feet of Galaxy. He will look wide for Klosterman. Oh, and big miscommunication here between Klosterman and Leimer. Leimer running up the line. Klosterman looking short. Will end up as an Athletico throw. They will move it back here to Savic, who's just going to move it out to Trippier. Will look up, but doesn't see a ton of options. Going to try to look long. His initial pass is deflected. Duel between Halstenberg and Llorente is not much of a duel at all. Halstenberg will easily muscle him off that one, and Leipzig will come away with it here. Now to Nkunku, one-on-one with Trippier. Will cut inside. Will have some help from Saul, who does not foul Nkunku, who does lose possession. The clearance will fall to the feet of Halstenberg, who finds Campbell, now chased down by Llorente. Will easily spin him off the ball. Out to Angelino, back into Campbell now. Halstenberg happy to just look for Upamecano. Klosterman out to Leimer. It's moving side to side right now, but really no impetus forward as of yet. You can see, once again, Atletico dropping super deep, allowing Upamecano to come almost halfway into their half, still with 10 players behind the ball, and Costa just up the field as an outlet. Now into Nkunku, surrounded by 2 defenders. Halstenberg going to drive inside. Will find Paulsen. Campbell. Now Leimer will look wide. Cross from Sabitzer. Will find a head, and it's a goal! Daniel Olmo puts it away, and RB Leipzig, with the first chance of the second half, will take the lead 1-0 over Atletico Madrid. And you have to say it's a lovely set of play here from RB Leipzig. They're allowed a ton of space, and Halstenberg decides to pull Upamecano, drives inside. Nice combination with Paulsen. Leimer finds Sabitzer finally open, and a good cross to the outside. And Sabitzer, very clever, very technical player. You can see his head up the entire time he sees Olmo making this run. He picks out the ball perfectly to Olmo's head, and Olmo directs it into the far left corner. Beautiful glancing header here. Beautifully timed on the run and the delivery. There's no chance for Oblak. And it's a very nice, it looks very simple, but it's actually a very nicely worked goal here from the side of RB Leipzig. And they can all be thrilled with that one, and now have the upper hand in this decisive quarterfinal. And now Atletico going to have to open up at a certain point to chase the game. And you have to ask what that will mean against this RB Leipzig team, who loves to counterattack and will love the additional space afforded by Atletico Madrid chasing a goal. Atletico will restart the match here, but Lodi immediately pressured, taken off of it by Olmo. Paulsen going to look up for him, but again, Paulsen's pass is just a little bit too heavy. He's done that a few times this match, asking just a little bit too much of his teammates, leading them a little bit too far. But Olmo now getting involved, feeling confident, emboldened by that goal. Very, very nicely taken. And now he's involved again as they pick off possession. Leimer going to have to keep this one in. Doesn't look like he did. Yep, did just cross the line. And it will go back to Atletico Madrid. And Simeone looking very perplexed here, wondering how he is going to alleviate this issue facing his squad. Definitely set up in a 4-4-2 to be mostly defensive. And now they are going to have to find some solutions to get through this RB Leipzig setup. You know, they did have probably the slightly better chances, although, hold on here as Llorente's in behind, but great instincts from the Leipzig goalkeeper there. Will get on top of Llorente before he can get his shot off. Galaxy seeing this one the entire time. It's a great job positioning himself and helping out his defender there, smothering that chance from Atletico. But yeah, Atletico had maybe not the better chances, but just slightly one or two more half chances in the first half, but they really haven't generated a ton. Really haven't had great success breaking down the lines, as we mentioned at halftime. Upamecano has been pretty immense in this match so far, and Yeah, now you have to wonder, and I'm sure they're wondering, how are we going to score at least a goal here, if not two, to try to win this game, at least get it to overtime and penalties. And they see João Felix getting ready here. That would be a super creative option, but may need to change their formation, may need to have some creative answers here, and that will open space in their structure for Leipzig to take advantage of on the counterattack, for Leipzig to take advantage of in general. Will feel a lot nicer for them on the attacking side. So we'll see if or when Simeone opts to make those changes. But as of now, Leipzig putting together the one really clinical, really critical attack of the game and able to capitalize on it. They now are in possession once again. A little scrum in the midfield. Carrasco able to come out with it. Will find its way out to Lodi. Lodi looking up, has his arms out, asking where can he go. Not seeing the options up the field, will look up for Costa, but Costa slow again. Upamecano into the challenge first. It does fall back to Hector Herrera here, now out to Llorente. He will clip it off of Halstenberg, but it will actually come back off of Llorente and will be a Leipzig throw. Llorente a little surprised by that one, but possession will go back over here as we look at this replay. Yep, absolutely the correct call. Does just clip his left leg there, so well done by the assistant referee. The throw-in will go long, but will come over to Athletico on a foul there. Not sure it was on Niguez. Not sure if it was Leimer or Olmo committing that one. Looks like it is Olmo. Definitely a foul there, clipping the passing leg of Niguez. Looks like Simeone actually going to make the changes maybe even quicker than I expected, sitting here at 55 minutes, not even going to let the hour mark come, already giving instructions to João Felix, who will be coming on here soon. My guess is he'll come on probably for Hector Herrera or potentially Koke. Koke has not really had a lot of say in this match whatsoever, though he does have a bit of a wand on his right foot, so I would imagine Herrera would be the primary option if you're looking for a little bit of attack for defense. But meanwhile, Leimer out here on the right will play it back to Sabitzer. Looks inside to Campbell. Drives forward, finds Leimer again. Again, a little bit on different pages as Leimer not expecting that ball to come through when he probably should have. Did have the space to run, but is forced to just keep it inbounds. Upamecano going to drive up and take a shot here, but never quite got his body in the right orientation. Was always reaching for that shot. It's his last touch a little bit too big, and it dribbles harmlessly into the waiting arms of Oblak. We'll reset here with Hector Herrera. He will move this one wide to Lodi. And just back to Saul. Saul looking up here. Or sorry, that's Jimenez. We'll finally find a nice pass into Costa, whose name we have not mentioned a lot tonight. And Costa looks like he's just shoved over by Upamecano. Referee going to stop the game here. Going to call a foul on Lodi, actually. We did see Costa go down at the top of our screen. Now a clipped pass out in the direction of Carrasco, but easily won by Klosterman. Athletico does manage to regain possession. We'll shift this one back over to Savic. Now it's Trippier back to Savic. And still trying to find a way through here. Our Athletico still with this same sort of slow pace. He's going to clip it forward to Costa, but his touch lets him down. It falls back to Leimer, whose clearance will just go out of bounds. But yeah, we've been mentioning it. You know, Costa's name has not been called a lot tonight. Really has not been heavily involved. And even when involved, he's looked very, very slow. Kind of very off the pace. Upamecano has been dominating him in that matchup so far. Will need to change that if he wants to change his team's fortunes. But as I was predicting, João Felix will come on here for Hector Herrera. So sacrificing a bit of the sort of robustness of Herrera for the attacking creativity that will be brought by this electric youngster in João Felix. So we'll be introduced here. Doesn't look like there will be any formation change. Will probably just be part of the midfield too. as Costa trying to flick this one on to Llorente, but Llorente not on the same page, and Costa looking up at him pleadingly. Angelino now in possession, though. We'll flick it up to Nkunku. Nkunku smartly just going to settle that one back to Halstenberg, who will look across the field. Klosterman forced to just clear this one. Angelino actually going to get good positioning, and Trippier tries to go over him. Does not get the call. Angelino now driving at Savage, going to square it for Nkunku, but it looks like Carrasco is there to pick that one off. We'll look up and find Felix. We'll clip this one forward to Carrasco. He's being closed down by Campo. Now 3 Leipzig defenders on him. We'll look into Costa. Costa now into Koke. He'll look wide to Trippier. A little bit of space here for the right back. He's going to swing across in, but Upamecano is there. Heads clear, and it's collected by Savitzer, who elects to settle the game down. Klosterman going to clip this one forward. It's collected well by Paulson. A little combination between Olmo and Campbell finds Angelino now into Nkunku. Actually got a nice 1v2 out here. Niguez is retreating. A little bit of a 1v1 between Olmo and Trippier. We'll cut inside, and not sure if that was a shot or a cross. It looked like Olmo wasn't quite sure either, and apologizes to his teammates as that one dribbles out of bounds for a goal kick. Started quickly here by Oblak. We'll get it into Lodi. Now Carrasco. We'll turn around and find Felix sitting out here on the wing. Felix going to clip a nice ball into Diego Costa. Holding off Upamecano, looking back for a teammate here. Upamecano trying to bite in there, won't quite get the ball. And Costa taken down there by, I believe it's Limer. Does not get a call as his team retains possession, but don't think the referee thought it was a foul either way, because definitely could have given advantage as that ball was going in the opposite direction. You see here, passes completed on the night. Leipzig 140 over Atletico Madrid. And they have had the bulk of possession, sitting at about 65%. So we do see the answer to what I was asking at the start of the match. Which one of these sort of counterattacking teams would be more inclined to keep the possession, to come out of their shell potentially a little bit? And the answer to that one has been Leipzig. And while they haven't necessarily been far and away the best side, you have to say they've been rewarded for their possession and some of the pressure they had at the end of the second half, starting fast at the end of the first half. They started fast in the second half and have gotten that goal. But now Felix finding Lodi on the right side. Upamecano pulls out of the challenge, and he's going to get Lodi for a dive here for sure. Very nicely done by Upamecano, kind of reading the intention of Atletico's left back there. It's initially great play from João Felix. A nice little combination. He drives towards the Leipzig defense, lays a nice pass off to Lodi here. You can see him collecting Klosterman's attention. He finds Lodi. Lodi's first touch a little big. Upamecano gets his leg kind of in, but recognizes he's not going to get there and just yanks himself out. And Lodi really trying to sell that one, but the referee in a great position with an absolutely perfect angle to see the lack of contact there in that challenge, and will appropriately give Lodi that yellow card for the dive. Do have to give a lot of props to the ref for that. That's one that is one that's easy to mistake if you are in the wrong position or not paying attention or looking for it. And absolutely no doubts in the mind of the center referee. It was very quick to card Lodi there. So plaudits for that one. This play will resume here. Atletico Madrid now a bit in the ascendancy following this substitution. João Felix has come onto the field and already been involved in a couple of decent moves. So you can see some of this paying off, and you can feel a little bit of the momentum as now series of header battles in midfield will find the ball out to the feet of João Felix on the wide, and a nice nutmeg onto Limer there from João Felix. Very creative, very petulant there from the youngster. We'll see it here on the replay. That is a lovely cutback, and Limer just throws him to the ground. Will collect that free kick. So as we mentioned, Felix already making an impact here, been involved in 2 good moves for his side. Now drawing a foul in a dangerous position onto Limer. Here comes the delivery. It is headed away by Klosterman. Well done by the Leipzig defender, but will go out for a corner kick. Atletico setting up for a quick corner here. It's going to go into Felix's feet. He's going to look for a driven ball to the back post. It will be blocked by Campbell. They'll reset up for this one. Now Felix will leave it for Carrasco, and Lodi comes in and says, nope, it's mine. So now it will be Lodi taking this left-footed out-swinging corner. You can see Carrasco at the top of the box. 5 members of the Atletico Madrid team will be going for this one. Jimenez and Saul at the top here. Here comes the delivery, lifted up and headed down by Halstenberg. Not the greatest clearance, but does do enough. And it looks like Nkunku there getting clipped by an Atletico player trying to shoot the ball. Take a look here as he's trying to clear this one away. And yeah, just gets clipped on his left and sort of right foot as he's trying to knock that one away. So we'll pay the price for clearing it, but does get the job done as we'll draw the foul and they will retain or regain possession here. Now Leipzig on their left. Angelino going to find Upamecano. Upamecano will simply knock it back here to his goalkeeper. We'll be able to find Halstenberg. Nice pass into Sabitzer here. Goes wide to Angelino. Finds Nkunku. There's some space here for Paulson making a straight run. Oh, and Nkunku's effort to get it through doesn't get through Savic. Could see what he was looking for. Paulson did have a step on his opposite number, but wasn't quite able to get the ball through. So nice work there by Savic. Will remove the danger as Upamecano just dances past Costa, who just kind of petulantly kicks him here. And I think he's going to get a yellow card as, once again, Costa has not had a good time in this matchup against Upamecano here tonight. Upamecano has been better than him on the defensive end, has danced by him multiple times on the offensive end, and Costa just reaches in and clips him well after the ball's released. I think he's really fortunate to escape a yellow card here because that was, quite cynical from the striker there of Atletico Madrid. But as play restarts, Leipzig's attempt will amount to nothing. It will simply fall into the hands of Jan Oblak, who will find Felix, and now Niguez, who will spray it out wide to Lodi under pressure from Leimer. Lodi going to take some space here as he's invited forward by Sabitzer, but not willing to go past the halfway line, and it's reset to Jimenez. Jimenez now inside to Felix. Nice pass. Felix with a good turn. He'll find Carrasco on the wide. Continues his run. Carrasco now going to cut inside. Met by Sabitzer, but dances around him. Doesn't quite get by Campbell, who puts in a good challenge here. And Leipzig able to play out of this one. Campbell under pressure from behind, but Halstenberg will find Angelino. Angelino's got his head up. Finds Nkunku, but it's well read by Trippier. He picks it off. Now Carrasco on the opposite wing. Taken away by Halstenberg. Campbell will retreat towards the middle. Finds Sabitzer. Sabitzer finds Olmo and will find Klosterman moving up on the right flank here. Klosterman takes his time, looking for some options. Decides just to go back to Upamecano. Now, Paulson attempting a cheeky back heel here, but it doesn't quite come off. But Halstenberg is first to the loose ball. Angelino without any options, but will beat Koke on the dribble. Nice ball across here. Paulson setting up for a shot, but loops it horribly. Just does not make the contact necessary as that ball was laid back to him, I believe, by Olmo. He did leave a little bit of a bounce on it, but Paulson not able to connect with it at all. Here's Felix once again, going to dance by. Believe that is Klosterman. Will find Costa. Now cutting inside is Costa, looking to the far side. Angelino reads it all the way and will just clear this one back up the field. Collected quickly by Jimenez. Looking across towards Savic, who also has Koke now. Here's Trippier. Inside to Saul. Saul back to Savic, and still not a ton doing on this right-hand side. They've had some success here on the left. They'll move it back towards Lodi. Here's Felix making another good run. You can see Felix really making a difference, and he will nutmeg Leimer again. Looking inside for Carrasco. It will be poked off of him by multiple Leipzig players. I'm not sure if that one's a goal kick or a corner, but some great work from João Felix again, megging Leimer for the second time and just about 6 minutes, and it is a goal kick. It's well handled by Upamecano, but you can see the difference that this youngster has made already in this match for Atletico Madrid coming on in the 56th minute. He has been the impetus in almost all of their chances or good passages of play since his entry, and they should now be looking down this left-hand side as their chance to get back in this match. But meanwhile, Leipzig moving up the right-hand side. You've got Leimer open. He's going to look to clip it towards the back post, but he leads Olmo a little too far, and Olmo cannot connect it. It will go out for a goal kick. The manager's head is in his hands. Is a great opportunity there with a lot of space for Leimer. Amounts to nothing, going out for a goal kick, not even a shot on target. Atletico now resetting here. Going to move this one wide to Lodi. Here's João Felix again now driving at this defense. Gets a nice one too. He's inside the box. He takes an extra touch. He's taken down. I'm not sure what the call is from the referee. He does have his whistle in the mouth. He's got a yellow card and he has pointed to the spot. It's a penalty for Atletico Madrid, I think. And it looks like the card is on Klosterman coming in from the side. But wow, João Felix has been running this match, and it is a yellow card for Lucas Klosterman. It will be a penalty to the side of Atletico Madrid, and it is drawn by João Felix, this player who has made such a difference since coming on. And yeah, looking at the replay, absolutely is a penalty. Felix takes that one last touch there, trying to get past Klosterman. He makes a ton of contact, clipping the young Portuguese, knocking him down in the box. And Felix, going to take responsibility here after drawing the penalty, will step up to take it and try to level this match. Deep breaths from João Felix. Whistle goes, steps up, shoots and scores! João Felix with an excellent penalty into the bottom left corner. He will tie this match at 1 apiece. Excellent work from the Portuguese. He has been electric since coming on. And you can once again see this great combination between him and Costa at the top of the box. He skips by Upamecano, who can't take him down. Klosterman decides to take the risk and slide and takes him down. You can see this is a confident penalty from Felix. Slow run up, but just drills that ball into the bottom left corner. And despite picking the right way to go, Galaxy cannot get there. It's an excellent penalty from an excellent player who has been absolutely spectacular since joining this match. As we look, it looks like the website hasn't quite updated yet. I'm looking for them to give me João Felix here. Not sure if I'll have to look down, as now we have a substitution coming through. Alvaro Morata going to come on for Diego Costa. I do think this one has been coming, despite combining well with Felix for that goal. Definitely has been a little slow and sluggish, and second best in his matchup with Upamecano tonight. And then for Leipzig, Tyler Adams, the American international, coming on here for Konrad Leimer. Leimer has worked his butt off in this match, getting forward and back, providing support for Sabitzer, for Paulsen, and also being a defensive cover for both Halstenberg, Angelino, and Klosterman. So has earned himself a rest, and just potentially looking for a bit of a more creative option in Tyler Adams now to try to get themselves the lead back. Upamecano driving forward again. Will find Adams, freshly introduced. Now inside to Campbell. Campbell out wide to Adams. Already has some space. Going to look for a ball into the box. So it's not a bad idea, but does overplay Paulsen a bit there. Never really that close to that one, but you can see the idea, trying to whip that one into the path of the onrushing Paulsen, and already trying to look for a positive impact is Tyler Adams. It's one back by Paulsen now, and it finds its way out to Angelino. It goes all the way across. Now Sabitzer are going to turn and take a shot here, but never got his body set. And that one's just going to sail harmlessly over the net there. Not sure why we're seeing Tyler Adams on the replay here, as I believe that shot coming from either Paulson or Sabitzer. It looks like they're actually going to move Sabitzer out here to a little bit to the right of this midfield three. They're going to put Tyler Adams right in the center. Campbell will still be playing deep, I would imagine. But just trying to shift something up, maybe thinking they can get Sabitzer or Adams in a favorable position. But it's won back by Sabitzer. Here's Olmo, but his pass leaves a lot wanting. It's behind Nkunku, but he does get clipped by a retreating Athletico player and will draw a foul in a very dangerous position here. See, it looks like not. Oh yeah, Jose Jimenez. Sorry, I always get a little mixed up with the middle name as well. Jose Maria Jimenez, but Jose Jimenez does step right onto Olmo's foot as he's playing that pass, so definitely a foul here. Does apologize to his goalkeeper, and now a good chance here for Leipzig to try to retake the lead, setting up outside the goal mouth here. Oblak trying to get his wall set up. And it looks like Nkunku going to step up to take this one. It is a bit far out potentially for a shot, but there aren't a lot of players in the box. Is going to be clipped to the back post instead. Halstenberg is there, but it's well read by Jimenez, the offender for the foul. Does make up a bit for that mistake. It will go back to Campbell. Cuts it back now, looks for a run through. Nkunku's open inside. Halstenberg just going to reset it to Campbell. So a lot of Athletico defenders here. They will go all the way back now to Tyler Adams. We'll go into Upamecano. Upamecano out to Klosterman. Will cross it in. Easily headed away by Savic. Collected by Upamecano, but goes over the head of Campbell. Settled down by Alvaro Morata very well. Now Carrasco cutting across. Will find Llorente. Keeping possession here. Looks like a bit of a foul there, but play will go on as Atletico has possession now. Tyler Adams will clip Carrasco there in midfield. Will have a foul called on him. Yep, just missing that one. We'll clip the foot there. See now, ball sent back behind Savic. Atletico will reset. So now 75 minutes on the clock, and we have a much more exciting game than we did just 20 minutes ago. That Leipzig goal definitely gave Atletico a bit of impetus to chase the game. It saw the introduction of João Felix, and once João Felix was introduced, we kind of felt a bit of an aura shift. Every time he's been on the ball in this game, he has felt dangerous, attempting passes, attempting dribbles, making runs that nobody for Atletico was doing before, and causing a lot of problems for the right-hand side, Klosterman and Leimer. And Leimer now subbed out of the game. Klosterman on a yellow card after committing the foul that resulted in the penalty, both on and for João Felix. And now a nice combination down the right. Llorente will look for a cross, easily cut out there by a retreating Tyler Adams. This ball will get away from Morata, be cleared by Halstenberg. But yeah, you could feel the shift in momentum with Felix's introduction, as now Paulson doing a nice job up top, holding this one up, and Nkunku will find himself in possession. But a lot of Atletico Madrid shirts already behind the ball. Will slow Nkunku down. He will just settle for a pass out to Klosterman. Now Sabitzer, and all the way back to Upamecano. Going to move up the left-hand side here. Just back to Halstenberg, and you can look at the field and you can see what Halstenberg's seeing. Just not a ton of options, very limited movement at the moment. Nice pass in here from Upamecano to Sabitzer, but his pass leaves a little bit wanting for Olmo. Now Tyler Adams forced to send this one back. Campbell looking to become an option here. Upamecano will go to Halstenberg. Looking inside to Nkunku. He has some space. Going to load up for a shot. Sees his angle closed down by Savic. Trying to make something happen, but it's not good enough. This ball will be cleared out. It's now just Upamecano and Morata. Upamecano is there first. Will easily play back to Gulaxi, who will find Halstenberg. Now Campbell looking up with a little bit of room to work. Looking for a long ball. Is Paulson up top. Will not get it. Sabitzer will spray it wide to Tyler Adams. Looking back now for Klosterman. We can feel a little bit more energy in this match as we approach the final 10 minutes. Both teams seem a little bit eager to actually score again now. It feels a little bit different than when it was 0-0. Both teams happy to be pretty defensive and settle for not a ton of chances. It feels like there's a little more bite, a little more liveliness in this match. And now João Felix on the ball again, driving at the RB Leipzig defense. He finds Carrasco wide. He'll look back for João Felix, sets himself up, fakes a shot, finds Morata in the box, tries a back heel, but Klosterman is wise to it. Leipzig will collect possession. Adams will look for Sabitzer. His pass sprays up, but it's collected by Olmo. Angelino back to Halstenberg. We're going to look long here for Paulsen. Paulsen wins the initial header, but it will simply fall back to Jimenez, who will head it into the waiting hands of Oblak. 79 minutes now on the clock. Both teams tied at 1 goal apiece. You can feel a little bit of energy in this match that was not there in the first half. Athletico just going to take a little bit of a breather in possession here, try to reset. But you can feel sort of a climax coming here in these final 10 minutes. Keep your eyes on João Felix. He has been so good since he's been introduced, and a nice combination here from Athletico. We'll find Lodi on the left, forced to cut it back. Going to look for a deep cross. It's deflected. Will go out of play, I believe, for a corner kick off of Klosterman. Going to go short quickly to Carrasco. Going to look to take on Klosterman 1v1. Cuts inside. Takes a shot. It's deflected. It will go out for another corner. This one deflected, I believe, by Tyler Adams. But a good effort there from Carrasco. Can see Klosterman getting a little leggy here. Trying to keep up, but just not quite as agile as he was earlier in the match. You could even see it a little bit in the tackle that resulted in the penalty. Just a little bit late there. Requires the fresh Adams to help him out. Now the ball comes in. It's in the scrum here, but cleared away by Sabitzer. Shot comes back in from Carrasco. It's blocked in the mass of bodies and will go all the way out to Trippier. He's going to launch one back towards the box. It's a little bit too long. It finds Halstenberg, who does not have the help of his keeper. He'll be forced to put it out for a throw-in. Jimenez will leave this one for Trippier. Trippier. Now Trippier playing a two-man game with Llorente, but Llorente is offsides. Llorente appealing to the referee, saying there's a defender on his back, but the referee standing just a couple yards away. Yeah, no doubt about it. Llorente, shoulder and leg fully offsides there. He tries to explain it away, but yeah, even Trippier looking around like, yeah, I think he was offsides on that one. As a couple substitutions getting ready here for Leipzig, we can see Schick getting his shirt on. Probably a couple of attacking changes here as they look like they're going to try to press for a goal. Some nice interplay as Sabitzer gets some space. We'll find Halstenberg advancing. Halstenberg looking for an option. We'll find Sabitzer again. Tyler Adams making an overlap on the right, but is not found. Campbell now looking inside to Nkunku. Nkunku tries to turn, but Savic is right there. Takes the ball off of his foot. Now Llorente getting in between two defenders. He's taking on a nice dribble here, but Halstenberg is equal to the task. A foul will be called for the drag back on Campbell, and a yellow card will be shown to the German here. Yeah, you can see here, just going to reach around, grab the arm of Llorente. And Olmo going to be subbed here as Schick coming on. Haidara also coming on for Nkunku. Probably just looking for some fresh legs in the attack. As we mentioned, Klosterman looking a little bit tired. You can imagine a lot of his teammates feeling the same thing. They have been working very, very hard, both offensively and defensively, to try to create these chances and try to hold off Athletico here. So we'll have Amadou Haidara joining the match on the left here for Christopher Nkunku, and also Schick joining in for Olmo in the attack. See a foul here onto Halstenberg, and Llorente now yelling at the referee. Simeone actually taking the good cop approach here, just trying to show reason to the referee. So yeah, I don't actually see a whole lot in that one. Maybe a little bit unfortunate there for Llorente, but nonetheless will be a foul over to RB Leipzig. Or sorry, no, it will just be a throw in here. So corrected there as Morata facing off against Angelino on the line. Flag does go up here. Will call a foul on Angelino down in the corner. So another chance here for Atletico. Well won by this recently introduced striker. Take a look here. Yeah, might have been a clip there. Definitely not the most obvious foul I have seen, but referee is standing right there and did have a good view of it. Will call this one for Atletico. See João Felix headed into the box. Looks like Trippier has stepped up to take this one. From the right-hand side, has his hand up, will step up. Here's the delivery. It's a pretty good one to the back post, but Upamecano equal to it once again. Will head that one out. Ball clipped back in. Here comes the goalkeeper. Will easily catch that lofted pass and be able to alleviate the threat from Atletico Madrid. See here some grappling from Sal and Sabitzer, but really nothing there. Sal just coming out second best. So now we'll win this header. Brought down by Sabitzer into Tyler Adams' feet. Will be sprayed wide. And will be cleared once again by Lodi. Now Klosterman winning the initial header. Adams will win the second, but will not find Sabitzer. Fortunately for him, they can find Sabitzer, and now finding Angelino streaking down the left. The pass overhit a little bit. Will be forced to cut back. Will find Haidara, but Haidara's pass lets him down. It's easily picked off by, I believe, Llorente there, who tracking back a long way from the striker position. Now Felix on the left. Going to look quickly up the line and will find Carrasco in a one-on-one with Upamecano, but Upamecano, once again, so strong tonight. Wins that 1v1 duel, comes away cleanly with possession. He has been immense here tonight for Leipzig. Now he will shift it over to Halstenberg. Halstenberg going to look up, will look inside to Sabitzer. His first touch leaves a little bit wanting. Results in a bit of a 50-50 that Klosterman takes care of cleanly. Now a pass from Adams out to Schick. He will turn back. Knock it back to Sabitzer. Sabitzer out to Adams. Adams going to play a two-man game here with Sabitzer. Still looking for options inside, but will just be forced back to Upamecano, who is caught pointing up the field, but nobody behind him, so nothing doing, no threat there from Atletico, who still are happy to pour 11 players behind the ball here. Now Adams outside, matched by Carrasco, will drive in. Going to find Campbell. Looks across for Angelino, but the pass is lofted too much. It's picked off by Trippier, and then Llorente fouled by Haidara, who will get a yellow card despite this being his first foul of the match. Not too happy about that one. Let's take a look back at this replay. He does come through a little bit harsh on the back of Llorente there. Definitely not the cleanest challenge. Not 100% sure it's worthy of the yellow card, especially as a first foul, but definitely can't complain too much that it was, I would say. And now flicked header here from Morata will fall to the feet of Adams, who calmly finds his goalkeeper. Just going to clear that one away to the left side. His header won by Schick, but the second one is won by Savic, and Atletico will retain possession. Now sitting at 87 minutes here, just 3 minutes of regulation. Do expect to see a couple minutes of stoppage time, not too many though, as João Felix takes his probably his first bad touch of the match and is robbed of possession. Halstenberg's wayward pass does find a player, and Angelino now with the chance in behind, squares it across top of the box. Touch taken by Adams, his shot deflected and scores! Tyler Adams has scored in the 87th minute of play on a deflected shot, and RB Leipzig are back in the lead. It's 2-1. And you can see the disbelief on the faces of the Atletico players. Jan Oblak, so unfortunate there. It has nothing to do with that deflection. And Jimenez is absolutely distraught. I think this deflection comes off of him. This is a great pass from Angelino. He sees Adams the whole way. Adams sets himself nicely, and yes, the deflection actually going to come off Savage here. This is a great ball from Angelino. His head is up the whole time. Adams sets himself well, and this ball, yeah, deflected here off of Savage's foot, past the diving Oblak into the net, and it will make it 2-1 with so little time remaining. Just 2 minutes of regulation, probably 1 or 2 minutes of stoppage time. Not much time for Athletico to do anything here. And the American hit 1 goal in 2 matches, but what an important goal it is here in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, set to currently be the winner and take his squad through to the semifinals. Is now Schick on the opposite side here. Will try to keep possession against 3 or 4 Athletico players. Will not manage to do so. Will end up at the feet of Savage, who retreats to Oblak. Will just clear this one long. Upamecano will win the header. Campbell now trying to collect. Will find Angelino all the way back to the goalkeeper. Whoops. I clicked on the wrong thing. Gonna need to get rid of this in a second. My match is blocked. But Sabitzer's down. Fouled by Jimenez. Holding his right side is Sabitzer. Has put in quite the shift here. Been involved in so much of the play. Been very solid in that midfield 3. See the referee talking to the Athletico players. Has the time stopped. This will be added on for stoppage time, of course. I think we would have had about 2 minutes. We should be expecting to see 4 now, I would imagine. Although not showing it on the scoreboard. Potentially waiting for this break in play to stop. So we can see one more time this ball across from Angelino. So good. Adams sets himself well. And yeah, the shot coming off the foot of Stefan Savic there. Not much he could do about it. I do think Oblak had that one read, and just unfortunate that that ball bounces in the complete opposite direction. But such a couple of good balls in particular. The initial one, I'm not exactly sure who played it, but that outside of the foot pass into the path of Angelino, so nice. Set up the left back very well to have that first touch cross. Picking out the onrushing Tyler Adams, and just well worked. And while it is a bit of fortune on the end, you have to applaud the play overall. And it looks like Sabitzer may be in a bit of trouble here, really struggling on that right hand side, hobbling off the field here. We do have 5 minutes of stoppage time and he will be substituted. Yeah, so Nordi Mukiele going to come on here for Sabitzer, who struggling too much to continue, unfortunately. So Mukiele will come on. 5 minutes of stoppage time are now the official amount, as Felipe going to come on for Koke here in search of that equalizing goal. Pointing to the sky, looks like he wants some long passes from the side of Atletico. As restart comes in here from Leipzig, Schick will get onto this ball. Will immediately be shoved off it by Trippier, who will win himself a goal kick. Yes, nicely done by the referee to allow time to just continue to play until Sabitzer had been withdrawn, and then puts the official amount up. We do have 5 minutes of stoppage time. We are 2 minutes into that 5 already. Don't be surprised if it goes a little bit over the 5 as the referee tries to allot for that Sabitzer injury. Tyler Adams now dueling with Lodi. Will commit a foul there and try to delay time. Lodi going to run over to the ball, set up for this free kick. Is in a pretty decent position. Again, 2 minutes into stoppage time here. 2-1 lead for RB Leipzig on a deflected goal from Tyler Adams. Lodi now setting up for another free kick from this left-hand side. Has had about 3 or 4 of these over the course of the match. Has had some pretty good deliveries so far. Here it comes. It's delivered deep. A little bit too deep. Goalkeeper's out. The ball's still flying around. Upamecano gets his head on it. Gets it to enough of safety. Niguez will recover, and now Carrasco with a free shot. It deflects out for a corner kick, And that was a bit chaotic. Galaxy a little bit found out there, comes out for this ball that's headed up in the air by Schick and has to retreat. Fortunately for him, Upamecano, immense as always, able to get his head to that one and get it just far enough out of harm's reach. Now the corner from Lodi will come back towards Oblak, who is up from his goal. It will be cleared by Haidara, I believe. And now Angelino chasing back towards Trippier, who will launch it forward. Header is away by Paulson to the feet of Saul. Saul will flick it towards the box. It's under Upamecano's feet. He does manage to poke it away. Campbell only gets it as far as Saul. Now back out wide to Lodi. He'll clip one into the box. It's read by Halstenberg, who will clear it out for a throw. A lot of pressure here coming out from Atletico Madrid. Throw-in will be flicked into the box. Won by Carrasco. It's onto the feet of Morata, but poked away by Halstenberg. Excellent defending there from Halstenberg as Upamecano had been beaten by that flick up from Morata, and a good challenge by Paulson will result in a throw-in here. Lodi looking for an option, going to go all the way back to Trippier, who will try to set himself up. Will find Oblak. A little bit of pressure coming out here to try to rush Oblak. He'll look left. Header is won by Leipzig and cleared out to the opposite side by Campbell. See, Schick's going to stand here to try to put some pressure. Everyone else is behind the ball right now. Haidara behind the ball. Upamecano behind the ball. Everyone is there, and Galaxy will come up and collect this second ball. And Angelino going to go down with an apparent cramp. Of course, the Atletico Madrid player is not thrilled about it, as we are at 4 minutes and 30 seconds of stoppage time. They're going to call the physio onto the field. Referee calling for that physio, and Angelino has gotten back to his feet. Do think you have to imagine that was a bit of time wasting there. See if the referee does account for it. I imagine he will, so expect to see this stoppage time go on to about 6 minutes or 6 minutes 30 seconds. Paulson does a great job collecting this punt out from Galaxy. He'll look wide and find Haidara. Haidara and Angelino sitting here on the left-hand touchline. Happy to just play between the two of themselves, trying to hold off the opposition defenders. Now Adams is in here. Haidara going to find it through to Paulson. Paulson is in alone, has a poor touch, and it's taken off him by Saul. Flying in here is, I'm not sure that's Adams, does commit a foul. Play does go on. It's a throw-in now. Leipzig asking for the whistle. We're at 5 minutes 30 seconds. Throw-in taken by Savage. Flicked on. Collected by Halstenberg. His touch is a little bit wayward. It's picked off by Carrasco. And now a chance here. Oh, but a foul is called onto Tyler Adams, who has gone down pretty hard, and a yellow card shown to Jimenez here. So he ran through Tyler Adams, and this will probably be enough to do it. Let's take a look here. Adams going up to clear it, and foul call on Morata. I'm not actually sure there's that much in it. He's just going for an acrobatic clearance, and I think Jimenez getting a yellow card for dissent there at the end of all of this. Trying to get the match restarted. You can see 6 minutes now on the clock and 5 minutes of stoppage time. I do think Leipzig has done it. They've gone on long enough. I think they will clear this ball into the opposition end, and that will probably do it. Here is Galaski going to knock this one long towards Paulson. He'll keep the header inbounds. Haidara going to pressure Saul, who flicks it wide. Angelino jukes and wins a throw-in. A little bit mad at Felipe, who's come in for some extras here, and a bit of a scuffle as it is getting testy at the end of the match. Atletico knowing they are out of time here. Felipe definitely leaving a little bit extra in that challenge onto Angelino. Tyler Adams now with Haidara, reminding him of the situation, telling him to focus, trying not to lose his head in the last few seconds of this match. We're now 2 minutes past the allotted 5 for stoppage time. Halstenberg going to stand over this ball. Angelino going to fake going back to the goalkeeper, going to set himself up, kick it long here towards the corner flag. Schick will run on, but will be collected by Oblak, who will be given a chance to punt it. Is going to take a bounce in midfield. Will be won here by, not sure, this ball's flicked in. It's actually flicked in the box. Here is Alvaro Morata, but Galaski is going to get fouled. He will get to the ball first. He's done enough Does get clipped by Morata. This was actually a fairly dangerous chance. Yep. But Golaski is equal to it. Gets out of his line quickly enough. Draws a foul. And that is it. They have blown the final whistle. RB Leipzig has won this match 2-1 off of a deflected goal in the 87th minute from Tyler Adams. And despite João Felix's best efforts equalizing this game from the penalty spot, Atletico Madrid, the same team that knocked out the holders Liverpool before the COVID break, have been knocked out here in the quarterfinals by RB Leipzig, and without Timo Werner to boot. Excellent performance from this German side. Excellent substitutions from the manager. They held it together very well. Had a great team goal for Olmo, provided by Sabitzer in the 55th minute here. They do see the score equalized by the electric João Felix following his introduction, but a great play from the team there. Finds Angelino into space. He picks up Tyler Adams on rushing, and his deflected shot is the difference in this match. RB Leipzig will advance to the semifinals. Atletico Madrid's season is over. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me here for this broadcast. I am going to turn off the lineups now. Actually, I need those lineups. I'm going to stop the broadcasting aspect now. We can go into a bit of post-match sort of commentary. I'm going to run through the lineups really quick and kind of comment on the ratings that I see here. So let's kind of go through it here. Again, I think overall a bit of an equal match. I think you can argue that Leipzig was a little bit better. Just a little bit, though. I don't think they generated a whole lot. I mean, you think about how many chances they really had. They pretty much scored on 2 of their 3, maybe you could argue 4 chances. So, like, just pretty efficient. I mean, we see, actually, we have I'm looking at the broadcast right now. We have attempts on target. There are 4 from Leipzig. So, 2 of 4 chances that they really had, they put away. They did have 56% possession. Athletico actually had 7 corners to their 3. But did have a lot more passes completed as well. Again, I think a fairly even match. You could argue they were better, but not by much. Here is that pass. I think it's actually from Schick. No, Schick is in the play here. It is... Oh, it was Sabitzer. What a great pass from Sabitzer. That's crazy. Outside of the foot pass from him was so nice. Yeah, it is Sabitzer. That's such a nice pass from him. It's a great pass from Angelino. And yeah, I think Oblak has this one red. He just gets beaten by the deflection. So yeah, let's take a look at the match ratings here. So we've got Galaxy, the goalkeeper for Leipzig. He's got a 7-2. I think that's fair. He was challenged a couple times on some plays later in that match, but he looked comfortable throughout, right? Came off his line well. He smothered a chance from Llorente. He smothered that chance from Morata at the end of the game. His handling was good. His passing was good. Looked assured, so 7.2 is solid. Klosterman with the 7-0. I may be a bit generous for him. He wasn't a part of any of those goals, and I think giving up that penalty the way he did while he was recovering for some of his other players, it did come from his sideline. His tackle was a little bit clumsy. I'd give him more of a 6.5 for taking that yellow in the penalty. Upamecano sitting at an 8.0. I think that's super fair. I think Upamecano was absolutely immense. I think he was so good against Costa. I think he was good against Morata. I think he was absolutely on top of all of his matchups. Was willing to drive into the midfield, was connecting well on passes. I think he's the man of the match for Leipzig here. The only other person I think you could argue is Sabitzer. So great match there from Upamecano. Halstenberg sitting at a 6.7. I think that's about fair. You can maybe give him a 7.0. I think he was the better... He was definitely the worst of the 2 center backs, but Upamecano was fantastic. I think he did his job. I think he did better than Klosterman as well with what was given. Leimer, who was substituted, came out with a 6.7. I think that's fair. Was pretty robust in all of his defensive and offensive work. Didn't have any touches to change the match, but definitely did exactly what his team needed to and was there on both touch lines. Campbell, 7.4. I think that's solid. I think maybe more closer to a 7, maybe not a 7.5. But Campbell was solid, probably a little bit better than Leimer. You probably give him a 7 and say, he was another part of that midfield cog, did his job very well, defended well. I think Angelino has a 7-7. I think a 7-5 is fair. Was pretty good down that left flank. A little bit disappointing on most of his crossing, but did pick out the killer pass in that last goal for Tyler Adams there. So I think given the good defensive work in general, given that he was always an option for his team and was, had some good, had some good crosses and some good creation down there in that last ball. We'll give him a 7.5. I think Sabitzer you could also give an 8. By the way, I think you give Upamecano a 9 or like an 8.5. I think you give Sabitzer an 8. Obviously had that great pass to set up Angelino for the second goal. Also had the beautiful cross, like absolutely picked it out for Olmo on the first goal. So I think Sabitzer should get an 8. Upamecano should get like a 9. I think you even give Sabitzer an 8.5. Daniel Olmo has a 7.4. I think it's closer to 7. He really didn't do anything in the match before that except for score that goal. I think goals typically will give you a 7, so I think he gets a 7 from me. In Kuku, I think you give a 6. Just was not super involved in the match. Even when he was, he just looked stymied. Just didn't have a ton of options. And I think Paulson at 5.9 is also fair. Just very stymied. Did his job, but just didn't have much impact. If you look at Atletico Madrid, Costa sitting at a 6.2. I think that's way too high. I think you could give him a 4. I'm dead serious. I think he was kind of dead weight. Wasn't working hard. Didn't seem to be running around very much. Was uninvolved in the match. Both by setup, but also because he was taking bad touches when he was involved. I'd give him a 4. I'd give Llorente a 5.5. Did have some decent work, but didn't really do a lot. Kind of ran around. Didn't connect super well. Wasn't a great option. So I think 5.5. I think Yannick Carrasco deserves a 6.5. He's pretty electric at the start of the game. Always offered a threat. Was trying to get involved. Doing his job. I think a 6.5 for Saul's fine. He had to do most of the passing work, dropping back super deep. So I think that's okay. Hector Herrera was subbed off. I think you give him a 5.5. He's just did his job, but sort of did it at a whatever pace. I think Koke, 5.5. Same kind of thing as Herrera. They just weren't super involved. Lodi, 6.5. I think that's fair. I think he was having a good set of... he was combining well with Carrasco on the left. Serving in some good crosses as well. I think he was one of the better players for them. Jimenez has a 6.3. I think you give him 5.5. Savic has a 6.6. I think you give him a 6. They were solid. They mostly did their job. Jimenez caught out in a couple of bad positions. Left some questionable tackles in. And Trippier at a 6.5. I think you could say that's fair. I think he upheld himself pretty well. Jan Oblak at 4.9. I don't know. I think you just give Oblak a 6. There's nothing he could do about either goal. The first one was very well taken by Olmo. The second one is a deflection that he has no chance at. So I think giving him a 5 is unfair. I think you should give him a 6. But yeah, I think these match ratings not as on par with what they're not quite as similar as I think to some of the ones I've had in the past. These are a little bit further off what I would think. It's a very defensive game, so I think maybe giving some extra points to people who were contributors to the goals. Also, if we talk about substitutions here, they're not showing me. Here we go. Okay, so Mukiele, we'll look at the substitutions here. So Mukiele just came on as defensive, didn't really do much. Same with Felipe, so they're NAs. I can't really rate them. Haidara, similar, but if I was going to give him a rating, I'd probably give it a 5.5 because he came on, got a yellow immediately, and didn't do much. Tyler Adams, scores the winner on a deflection. Was pretty active in his substitution. Defensively good option in midfield. Obviously, the shot was fortunate, so I think 7, probably fair. Morata has a 5 here. I think he wasn't on long enough to judge him. João Felix has a 7.7. I think that's super fair. I think Felix was super dynamic from the second he came on. You saw it instantly, the amount of opportunities they had on the left. Leimer and Klosterman all of a sudden looked worn. They looked tired. They looked like they couldn't deal with Felix's dribbling, his movement, his passing. He was very electric. Drew the penalty, scored it nicely. Great performance by João Felix off the bench. Really, they're really only truly bright spark on Atletico's side in that match. And then Patrick Schick, not enough time to give him a rating. But yeah, all in all, boring first half, but got to be a pretty exciting match in the second half. So glad we were able to watch this one together and call this one. And Once again, do want to thank... Oops, I got to get rid of this. It doesn't matter. The game's over. Do want to thank everyone for tuning in today. Thank you for joining me on the stream. Anyone that was watching, anyone that was commenting in the chat, I hope you did enjoy the broadcast and enjoy the commentary. We'll be back here Saturday for the next Champions League match. I can double check who that's against. Give me 1 second here. Where's the match? Oh, I didn't update the scores at all. That's hilarious. I had the scores up here the whole time and I didn't update them at all. Good lord. I just completely forgot. Yikers. That's so funny. Wow, I'm a terrible streamer. Someone should have mentioned this. Let's check this really quickly. So it will be... so we'll be back here on Saturday for, I believe, Champions League schedule. Okay, we'll be back here. Oh, we'll actually be back tomorrow. We've got Barcelona Bayern Munich. So that'll be a great match. I'm really excited for that. I think Bayern will smash them, but you never know. But Bayern's look super good. So we'll be back here tomorrow for Bayern Barca. And we should be back here Saturday as well for Man City Lyon. So hoping you can all join me tomorrow. And I look forward to seeing you at that match. But once again, thank you. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.